Still got to run a timer. We're probably gonna be late for the timer, so don't pay too much attention. This timer is really just meant to enjoy the music from these crypto artists and stuff like that, and get ready for the stream. You know what I'm saying? I'll be talking to you throughout it and letting you know what's up. But I'm about to run this timer. I'm about to make some money, run to the market, see what's up, and let's get it.
Investments, I'ma make it back on myself on PC or Mac. Bitcoin to 100 racks. 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 Investments, I'ma make it back on myself on PC or Mac. Bitcoin to 100 racks. 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 Got rich off crypto, man, so you can't tell me where the money is. Blockchain got me ballin' hard like I'm Dennis Rodman. This is where crew music. Use a flipper, use a dolphin. I just left Miami, but I had a gang of options. I've been going hard lately. I'm the crypto David Goggins. Full speed ahead, man. I don't plan on stopping. I'm logged in, dripping so much sauce I need a napkin. What's happening? Everything you share don't need a caption. What's understood needs no explanation. Close case then. Crypto face for president, master trader, heaven sent. Vaccines we do not consent. Faith in God that's evident. House so big he can fit a herd of elephants. Real good karma to protect us from the elements. I'm a living testament. Loyalty is rare. All that hating you be doing, please keep it over there. We gon' focus on the market. All we care about is profit. New wardrobe up in the closet. If I want it, I'ma cop it. Bitcoin to 100 racks. 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 Investments, I'ma make it back on myself on PC or Mac. Bitcoin to 100 racks. 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 Got rich off crypto, man, so you can't tell me where the money at. Computers on alert, running full node software. If crypto keep on pumping, I won't need no airfare. Private jet life, making trades in my underwear. Who am I? Crypto face, Bitcoin extraordinaire. Come and join the campaign. Market cipher trade main. Just received a payment. Compliments of blockchain. Thanks to my left brain, I've been making major moves. Rubbing elbows with the rich, chilling with the Asians too. Plenty money to be made. You don't have to lose trades. Please consider market cipher. Flopping groper, ace of spades. We gon' ball to the very end. So I recommend that you follow both of us, the real Winklevoss twins. Bitcoin to 100 racks. 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 Investments, I'ma make it back on myself on PC or Mac. Bitcoin to 100 racks. 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 Got rich off crypto, man, so you can't tell me where the money at. Yeah.
I'm done repeating myself. MarketCipherTrading.com.
How much money can you make in a day? Let's play, I got that crypto. I got that ripple. Yeah, I'm slanging Tron all day long. And you better believe I'm about to short some Bitcoin. Yeah, that's right, I'ma go and short some Bitcoin. Every day and every night, cause right now it's a bearish market. There ain't nothing in sight. Where the money at? Where's my fucking money? Where the money at? Where's my money at? Where the money at? Where the money at? Where the money at? My Bitcoin. Where's the money at, yo? I need to go meditate or something. I think I should go stand in this corner. I just keep looking at the Satoshi number in my wallet and I don't know what to do. Oh my god, this is bad.
This Listen up, kids, and stop your clicks. You gotta kick it with the DADDY quick. If you wanna be a baller, then you gotta do like this. You gotta shorter while it's hot, and then you're living like a pimp. Bitcoin bleeding with the sins they call them ripples. Buying dipples, sucking nipples. Drawn living like a space age player. Caught down on flipping paper. Home invader, it's alt season, baby. Shit is scary. Iota looking like a young Halle Berry. Monero sneaking in like Mr. Steal Your Girl. Luminary daddy stacking comments like they're pearls. I'm buying and I'm selling and I'm blowing up the servers. Illuminati, crypto naughty, fucking the whole world. I'm lightning fast and crypto rich, so hot I start to burn. Too many coins to stop. Word. Logging out on Binance while I'm shorting on the max. Hurts so bad to do this, but I know it's for the best. I sell into the fiat while I flip the BTC. What you thought I switched, bitch? I'm fucking coin daddy.
How much money can you make in a day? Let's play. I got that crypto. I got that ripple. Yeah, I'm slanging Tron all day long. And you better believe I'm about to short some Bitcoin. Yeah, that's right. I'ma go and short some Bitcoin every day and every night. Cause right now it's a bearish market. There ain't nothing in sight. Where the money at? Where's my fucking money? Where the money at? Where's my money at? Where the money at? Where the money at? Where the money at? My Bitcoin. Where's the money at, y'all?
Coin daddy. Crypto naughty. Young Satoshi. Daddy Bitcoin's back, baby. Woo! It's alt season, baby. King. Alt season, baby. Bitcoin forever. Where my money at?
Bitcoin to 100 racks, Bitcoin to 100 racks, Bitcoin to 100 racks. Investments, I'ma make it back on myself on PC or Mac. Bitcoin to 100 racks, 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 Bitcoin to 100 racks. Investments, I'ma make it back on myself on PC or Mac. Bitcoin to 100 racks, 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 Bitcoin to 100 racks. Got rich off crypto, man, so you can't tell me where the money is.
Blockchain got me ballin' hard like I'm Dennis Rodman. This is where I crew music. Use a flipper, use a dolphin. I just left Miami, but I had a gang of options. I've been going hard lately. I'm the crypto David Goggins. Full speed ahead, man. I don't plan on stopping. I'm logged in, dripping so much sauce I need a napkin. What's happening? Everything you share don't need a caption. What's understood needs no explanation. Close case then. Crypto face for president, master trader, heaven sent. Vaccines we do not consent. Faith in God that's evident. House so big he can fit a herd of elephants. Real good karma to protect us from the elements. I'm a living testament. Loyalty is rare. All that hating you be doing, please keep it over there. We gon' focus on the market. All we care about is profit. New wardrobe up in the closet. If I want it, I'ma cop it.
Bitcoin to 100 racks, 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 Bitcoin to 100 racks. Investments, I'ma make it back on myself on PC or Mac. Bitcoin to 100 racks, 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 Bitcoin to 100 racks. Got rich off crypto, man, so you can't tell me where the money at.
Computers on alert, running full node software. If crypto keep on pumping, I won't need no airfare. Private jet life, making trades in my underwear. Who am
Crypto
I?
face, Bitcoin extraordinaire.
Come and join the campaign. Market cipher trade main. Just received a payment. Compliments of blockchain. Thanks to my left brain, I've been making major moves. Rubbing elbows with the rich, chilling with the Asians too. Plenty money to be made. You don't have to lose trades. Please consider market cipher. Flopping groper, ace of spades. We gon' ball to the very end. So I recommend that you follow both of us, the real Winklevoss twins.
Bitcoin to 100 racks, 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 Bitcoin to 100 racks. Investments, I'ma make it back on myself on PC or Mac. Bitcoin to 100 racks, 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 Bitcoin to 100 racks. Got rich off crypto, man, so you can't tell me where the money at.
Bruh, we had to dilute that shit.
Done repeating myself.
Enjoy it.
Market
Dilute it.
CipherTrading.com.
Oh, enjoying it. We just enjoyed it before, honestly, though. Jump Voice, our sincere thanks go out to Jump Force players and fans for the support, but it must come to an end. Jump Force's availability, the digital purchase. It will end on. Oh, Jump Force is ending. Wow. Jump Force is a dope game idea and stuff.
Turn a Fiat on ramp to an expressway. That's a hex flex. Hey, that's a hex flex. Making money, yeah, we growing by the X's. Yeah, hex, all we know about is excess. Turn a Fiat on ramp to an expressway. That's a hex flex. Hey, yeah, we up next. Shut up with that scam mess, cause we up in hex. They showed a lot of disrespect, now they can cut the check. They had a lot to say, well, now they can't say nothing else. They had some gains, things changed, now it's nothing left. Hey, money went into some means, ended up and left. Hex is up and to the right, they up and to the left. Hey, looking up and down, everything around wreck. Should've dropped 100 when you found looking for some meal. They can't find that shit nowhere.
Whoever the fuck's offering shit about the random token and stuff like that.
Too bad you can't go there and sacrifice.
Unless it cost me $5 to get that amount of that token, maybe it does. That's what it sounds like, right? That's how much would have been in Bitcoin 10 years ago. It cost me like $5. I'll spend $5. I'll put $5 in your token. I don't give a fuck for $5. I really don't give a fuck for $5.
Let's do this math real quick.
Anything
So
more
when
than
I
that,
go on Twitter
no.
and I see people buying McLarens, Lamborghinis,
Like I need to do more
Ferraris,
research. I do a lot of research. I was just talking to
That's
Money
fake.
Match Gaming
Those aren't real.
CEO about this,
Or it
Lance
is real.
Infinite, and I was like, yo,
What's that got to do
like,
with
you know, a lot of people don't really do their research around cryptocurrency and stuff like that. They think like, you know, when Gary Vee says something like, you know, do like 50 hours of research before you actually invest in a cryptocurrency project or something like that and understand it, like that's bullshit. I literally do that much fucking research before I fucking invest in a project. I did not invest in an RFI coin for like 4 weeks until I understood the fuck out of RFI coins. Like, I'm not investing in shit unless I understand it. Period. And so, like, when people say shit like that, I'm like, if I can understand the tokenomics, otherwise you can give $5 because it's just whatever. But more than that, or if it's a scammy link, you're trying to give me a link to click on or something like that, I can't click on it myself. No, hell no.
Well, you're telling me that can't happen because the price is going to go to zero. But I see it with my eyes. I don't get it.
Bitcoin, please go to moon.
What this guy said.
Stop going sideways now. Don't ever say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have
Batomera. I don't even know what else is on the market today. We're gonna find out though. 'Cause this is bullish on the market, bro. I don't want to not be making a move on what the market's doing right now. Like my boy's been saying the market's been shorting all day. I could have taken out this Bitcoin loan earlier. I know Crypto is talking about it going down to 58,000 potentially. That's like $6,000 from where it's at right now. It's a lot of money, bro.
Don't ever say
That's a
we
big ass
going
gap.
down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have Batomera.
Batomera, Novogratz is bullish. Okay, so I know we got music going right now, but I watched this video last night and I think it's really interesting and informational, and I actually want to share it with more people while we figure out some other shit. I actually want to share it with other people because I feel like it's informational and it'll actually maybe help somebody. Period. So the channel this is from is Minority Mindset. The guy that does this is obviously a Muslim, I think from his turban and stuff like that. He expresses, you know, because Robert Kiyosaki kind of calls him out on why he's wearing it and stuff like that in the podcast. He can't help it. It's within his system. It's just who he is. And the guy gives him a response, reasonable response. Like, this is my culture and stuff like that. Yeah, I want to represent for my culture. I want to represent for the people that struggle for me, for me to get here. And if I can wear this and be okay, these people struggle and they barely got anything, then I'm going to rep it. And I feel that. And Robert feel that. And so let's listen to this guy. Let's listen to
The
this
whole
guy.
world economy is shut.
$100 or less than $100. Didn't know the culture, didn't know the people, didn't know how things work, but he busted his butt. And for him, appearance, the whole American dream was work hard, become successful. And didn't grow up with any financial education. And so apparently, like a lot of Indian immigrants said that if you want to become successful, you need to follow the system. Study hard in school, get good grades, become a doctor. My dad used to actually tell me that when you're in school, don't worry about English, don't worry about social studies and all that. Focus on math and science because that's what you need to become a doctor. Work on those two things, and if you do that, you'll become a doctor. If you become a doctor, you'll make a big salary. If you make a big salary, you'll be able to save a lot of money. And if you can save a lot of money, you will be wealthy. How do you know any better? Why don't they teach this in school?
Because it's a Marxist system. I hate to say that. If you study Marx, Lenin, Stalin, Hitler, and Mao, the central bank is Marx. And Lenin said if you want to destroy the economy, if you want to destroy capitalism, debauch the currency. So in 1971, just before I went to Vietnam, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. But they don't teach you that. You see, our system is communist. And I hate to say that because I'm a Marine. I went to Vietnam twice. I fought for this country. I went to military school. But they said my family were locked in internment camps.
I can't say
And
he's
today
not
they talk about
wrong.
reparations.
I don't know why they don't teach you that.
I mean, give me a break. My family didn't get reparations. They took all
Real
the land,
talk.
they took the houses, they took
Real
everything.
talk.
But what
Real
history
talk.
doesn't tell you is that
Real talk. Why don't they ever teach you that the United States took the dollar off the gold standard? Real talk. Why is that never taught? Seriously. It was in the last 100 years. Why is that just skipped? Why is that skipped? There's multiple points in the last 100 years where that's a major fucking factor to our financial, political, everything system. Everything in the last 100 years. Why is it skipped? Why is the fact that taxes have only been around the way they are for less than 100 years skipped? Well, it's a little bit over 100 years now. But why is that skipped in educational lessons? What the fuck? They haven't even been the taxes that people expected them to be. It's only been the taxes that you know it for like 90 years. That's fucking wild, people. That's fucking wild. That's a new revelation that your great-grandparents didn't deal with.
Hitler rose to power on reparations. Why don't they teach us that stuff? So that's why I went to military school. So today I hear all the blacks talking, man, racism is terrible. You've experienced it, I've experienced it. And racism is it's a sin of the soul, spiritual. It's spiritual to judge a man or a woman by their skin. And that's horrible. But anyway, if you study Marx, Lenin, Hitler, and Mao, you'll see it all over the school system. That's what today's postmodernist education. And postmodernist education actually started in 1930. When out of the Frankfurt School in Germany, they moved over to Columbia University. And Columbia University is the headquarters for Marxism. But they don't tell you that. And so the Teachers College at Columbia University is where the Frankfurt School set up in 1930, which is Marxism.
And another thing I found was really interesting. I was reading something that you wrote. Because millennials nowadays, young people, one of the biggest liabilities, student loans. Yep. And
that was Obama. Obama's a hardcore Marxist. I'm not a racist by calling him that, but he is. Look at Obamacare. You know, Stalin who said medicine is the archstone of socialism. Socialized medicine.
Wow.
And education fits into that same category.
Yes and no. Well, that was started previously, and they wanted to actually see it through to success.
That's why, going back to what you and I were
Prove
talking
that they could succeed at something.
I'm sitting in school with all these rich white kids in Hawaii, right? Just because of the way the lines fell and the school districts and all this. My classmates are all these white guys who are rich. And I'm this Asian guy who's poor. And my old man, poor dad, PhD, poor helpless desperate, is saying, you've got it.
So this section of the podcast is titled, in timestamps, We're Going into a Depression. And so, you get recession, and then you get depression. We've actually already had the recession. If you don't remember, right? They didn't consider 2008 and all that stuff a depression. They considered it a repression. The closest thing to a depression. And he's saying we're going into a depression.
How to get a high-paying job, as a school teacher. I said, Dad, you're still not rich. And so I want to know why the white guys were rich and the Asian guys were poor. And then India, as you know, is those same English sons of a bitches who took over India. The British Empire, the sun never sits on the British Empire. Remember those days?
Yeah, so you talk about August 15th, 1971, worst day for the dollar.
Yeah.
What's funny is my grandfather, as I was growing up, told me about how August 15th was the day that he lost faith in the government.
Yeah.
My family is from a state in India called Punjab. And when the partition happened in 1947,
right,
they split up the state of Punjab, and the government lied to the people in Punjab who were living in my family.
Yeah.
And so my grandparents, when they found out that the line was not going to be where it was, my grandparents lost everything. They lost their home, they lost family members. My grandfather saw people being killed. And that happened on August 15th, 1947. And then 24 years later, the same day, the United States
took the dollar off the gold standard. Nixon did.
That's crazy.
It's not only that, it's when I went to military school, so we studied different types of history. You look at the American flag, it's the flag of the British East India Company. The sun never sets on the British Empire. So Hawaii was the British Empire, India, Australia, New Zealand, America. It's really interesting to study history, not from the academic side.
They probably call you a conspiracy theorist.
Of course.
Are you? For participating?
No, I'm a historian. I like history.
Probably. I might need to.
So when I came back from Vietnam in 1973, I got spit on, I got hit by eggs and all this by these hippies who went to the Woodstock generation. My own, baby boom generation. And here I am. I just lost a lot of friends and all this. We're fighting. We're killing communists in Vietnam. It was horrible. You know who's killed the most people in history? Communists. And that's who we're fighting. So Americans fight against people who murder people. So the sad thing about it is that we have history that's not history. It's massaged. It's fabricated.
I would say the winners write the history books.
Correct. And so that's why you look at the American flag. It's the flag. That's why I love talking to you, because we're brothers here. Hawaii was taken over by the English. India was taken over by Australia. South Africa. It's the sun never sets on the British Empire. Well, why don't they teach us that stuff? Why is the American flag? They say, oh, Betsy Ross sewed it. Bullshit. Look at the flag of the British East India Company. You'll see the American flag. I'm trying to say, 1930, the Frankfurt School out of Germany, which was Marxist,
he couldn't consider himself
University Teachers College.
Is that what it is?
In America.
Robert Kiyosaki considers himself more of a Hawaiian than a Japanese. From what he just said, he was like, because I mean, from what he's trying to connect with this guy with, he's like, oh, you understand? They took over Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? They took over India. And I'm like, but you're Japanese. I'm gonna try to shoot shots at him or something like that. I'm just like, that's just what he recognizes himself as. I'm like, you know, because like a lot of Japanese are Hawaiian, more modern, you know, not like super native or something like that. But like, I don't know, maybe prior to that too. I don't know the fucking process of people getting to fucking Hawaii and shit like that.
I'm a student of history. You know, it's like, you know, there was a guy named General Patton. We studied great generals. Patton was a great general because he led from the front. Most generals led from the bunker, in the rear. That's why Biden, when he ran for president, he was hiding in his basement. He's a bunker guy. And Trump ran from the front. You know, he had millions of people cheering and screaming for them. But the way it's run now is I call him Basement Biden. You know, he hides in his basement. He doesn't say crap. And Trump loses.
So are you not happy with the way that President Biden is running the country?
They tried that approach.
What happened in Afghanistan?
They tried that approach.
All of those weapons that were taken, $850 billion worth of it, is now going to be used against the state of Israel. It's one of our last allies in that area. I'm a military guy. I have killed people. I've had my friends killed. And Americans sit here and just go, oh, what's on YouTube tonight? Or what's on television? And we sit here with sanitized, sterilized education. So I sit in this room here, and you can look around. I call this a fishbowl, but these are my heroes here. The people that stood up.
You have Albert Einstein, Martin
Luther King, Bobby Kennedy, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Nez Perce, Chief Joseph and Nez Perce. These guys stood up. They got cut down also. So I refuse to be cut down. You can come in. You know, people tried to kill me before. I don't care. In Vietnam, Vietnam I went down 3 times. They couldn't kill me there. So I'm just speaking out. And this is the time now. Because I think some people, probably 2 out of 10, 20%, realize that something's wrong in America. And I'm a student of Karl Marx. 1848, he and Engels wrote a book called the Communist Manifesto. The last line in the Communist Manifesto is the abolition of property. No private property. Everything is owned by the state. And the way that gets you through that is by inflation and taxation. They're both taxes. So Biden just raised the taxes on doctors, I think 20%. It's kind of funny. But now 50% of a doctor's income goes to taxes. And a capitalist like me pays no taxes. Trump pays no taxes. And it angers people. Instead of saying, well, how do you guys do that? I mean, how can I sit here talking to you and tell people I don't pay taxes? How come I'm not taken off to jail?
Yeah, aren't you a greedy, rich, horrible human being for not paying taxes?
I like my money. I don't want those communists in Washington, D.C. to take my money. I don't like them taking my money. I don't like being manipulated by the government, which is Marxist.
But is it you that's doing something wrong? I mean, you're not doing anything illegal. The tax.
Would I be telling you I don't pay taxes if I was a criminal?
You know, so I went to law school, obviously, because when my parents found out that I wasn't smart enough to be a doctor, they went, you have to at least become an attorney. And
They teach you about tax?
They did. Well, you know, kind of.
How to not pay tax?
Not really.
Okay, that's what they didn't teach you that
But I
either.
did read your book before going into law school, so I tried to focus my law on business and tax law, and my tax professor, very interesting, before the first day of class, sent out an article about how rich people legally evade taxes.
It's different to evade and avoid, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's very interesting.
What's the difference to evade and avoid as an attorney?
Well, avoid, you're doing it legally. Evade, you're doing something wrong.
Yes. What I do is I avoid, I don't evade. Corporate law comes out of Amsterdam, you know that, right? But they don't teach you that stuff. They teach you American, but not international law.
We're going into a global economy, more and more, every single day. And going back to the topic of student loans, though, because the thing that I wanted to mention that I thought was so interesting was that the biggest liability for so many Americans nowadays are student loans.
Yeah.
But you said the biggest asset for the United States government are student loans.
Yes.
How does that make any sense that so many people are drowning in debt? They can't save money, or they can't invest money, or they can't build wealth because of this liability that is making the government richer.
Corporate law comes out of Amsterdam.
Bro, do you not hear how fucking ridiculous that is? Let's rewind that. Hold up, man. Because I feel like before I even say anything, I don't want to say anything. I heard it. I hope you heard it. I know I'm playing it in 2x speed, and my ears might be more used to this. But I want to rewind this for people to actually fucking hear what the hell they just said. What's the United States' biggest income?
Biggest asset for the United States
Or biggest asset, excuse me. Biggest asset, biggest income. What the fuck are they making the most money off of in the United States?
I thought was so interesting was that the biggest liability for so many Americans nowadays are student loans.
Yeah.
But you said the biggest.
Student loans is the biggest fucking asset of the United States. You know why? Because of the fucking interest and stuff they put on these. Like when you talk to somebody who's an economist or somebody who knows stocks or they just know credit cards, they're talking about that type of stuff. They're like, that's the worst type of debt to be in. It's the worst type of debt to be in. That's what they hook up everybody who's 18 and under. You 17, 16, let's start getting you looked at this type of shit. Meanwhile, the SEC exists to do what? To save us from making more money via Bitcoin? Dude, like people really just have to ask fucking questions, bro. It doesn't make any fucking sense. That doesn't make any fucking sense. When you could have put $1,000 from last year's stimulus check into Bitcoin or Ethereum, it'd be that much better. But into Bitcoin, it'd be $12,000 today from $1,000. Like it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. So stupid. They're like actually hurting you. really, really bad, under the guise that they're helping you.
Asset for the United States government. Our student loans.
Yes.
How does that make
Like
any
they're
sense?
crippling you
People
for
are gambling.
life.
They can't save money.
It's actually crippling for life. It's crippling for what could be somebody's entire lifespan under the guise that they're helping you. And we have bodies like the SEC that are attacking companies like Ripple, which previously Ripple had like reaching $3 per Ripple. SEC started attacking Ripple. Ripple goes back down to 80 cents per Ripple. How is that not hurting people? Who is that helping? That's not helping anybody. You stifled innovation so that you could try to pull more, and all you wanted to do is pull more money from that company. You don't want to pull more money from the individuals. You said that company made so much money, we can possibly take money from them and pay some stuff, pay part of some, not even everything, pay part of some stuff back. It's so fucking corrupt, dude. That's disgusting.
That's money, or they can't.
They don't even have actual answers. They're just grasping at fucking straws. Imagine if you could pass tests and get A's for grasping at straws. That's the fucking type of shit that goes by, and like after you get out of like the economics, like, or not the economic, the educational level of school and stuff like that. After you get past the educational level of school in America, you can grasp at fucking straws in a lot of these fucking like high level industries and shit like that and be successful as fuck. Because you don't have to be right, is what they're saying with this type of shit. You literally don't.
Liability that is making the government richer.
Corporate law comes out of Amsterdam. And in 1930, the Frankfurt School out of Berlin moved to Columbia University, the teachers' college. And that went into our educational system. Today it's called postmodernist education. Postmodernist education is based on opinion and emotion. STEM, science, technology, education, and engineering, and math is out. So it's just based upon emotion and opinion. So here I'm quoting
mathematics say you don't have to be correct.
People get all emotional reactionary and call me a crook, a capitalist, and all that. Well, that's what our schools are teaching us. That's why I hate to say this.
Too much.
Schools are Marxist,
Like,
but they never study
fact.
history. They don't know what they're teaching.
Fact.
So 1971.
Fact. He's going to take it down some other negative direction, I'm sure, because he's got his own opinions and stuff like that. But what he's saying is true. Like, if people are teaching and stuff like that, and it's based on their opinion instead of facts, and like, oh my God, like, mathematics is the smartest thing you can fucking teach people, quite honestly. Like, mathematics, understanding, like, a greater macroeconomic situation,
Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. What does that mean? We could print as much money as we could. That meant the only way the economy could expand was through debt and taxes. Right? If you understand that, so that's why when the American consumer got racked up with debt and the U.S. government racked up in debt, the next person that wanted the money was the teachers' unions. And so that's why Obama passed that student loan stuff. And now our young people are strapped in debt because that's the only way the economy can expand is through debt. So we screw our young people, then they accuse people like me of being a conspiracy theorist. But I studied history.
And one of your recent books, Fake, you inspired me to pull out a $100 bill because you said that on money, it says, in God, we trust.
Right.
But this money wasn't created by God. This paper money was invented by the government.
Correct.
So why are we throwing God around to try to get people to believe this money?
Well, number one, Marx was anti-Christian, if you study his works. And so that's when you look at history, I'm not saying it's my opinion of him. I read his work. So when you study that stuff, and Americans are so gullible that if Jesus said it, it must be true. I said, I don't know about Jesus. I don't remember him saying that. But anyway, you know, I'm not I was raised Christian. I don't go to church
Hold
anymore. I
up,
believe
fam, you want to learn DeFi? I'll put you on Money Match Gaming's DeFi drip team tonight. Real talk. I'll put you on our drip team tonight. We hydrated $50. We hydrated, so we recompounded $50 of what we made tonight already. I know that shit don't say we have $50 more. Shut the fuck up. Let me refresh this page. Because I compounded $50 since we started playing some whatever the fuck we played earlier. Mario Party. Nope, it's $57. Okay, so, you know what I'm saying? We got $57 more. I will teach you some fucking DeFi tonight. To, like, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to have this much. But it's a learning lesson. And the fact that we compounded $57 when we started playing a game a few hours ago, we made the amount that it cost to purchase that game over the cost of playing the game one time is dumb. You shouldn't be able, you should be able to do that because other people do it, but it's pretty fucking revolutionary to me. I don't know. I never had that opportunity before.
And God and all this stuff, I respect all religions. That's what it is. You know, you want to be a Hindu, Muslim, Jew, whatever. It's up to you. It's a free country. So I don't get into that stuff. But in 1964, it didn't say in God we trust. It said a silver certificate. Oh, you're flush yet, Kiyosaki. Well, check history, assholes. You know, in 1964, the dollar was a silver certificate. Meant it was backed by silver.
So now this in God we trust money, paper money, can now be printed on command by the Federal Reserve Bank.
If you understand history, the reason I pay no taxes is because I borrow money. I'm a debtor. The only way the economy... And check this out. I mean, all you communists out there, check this stuff out. I am a billionaire in debt. You know why? Because I get tax breaks for borrowing money.
I'm going to pause him right there. He gets tax breaks for borrowing money. Not only that, but like when you learn about the amount of shit that you can write off via taxes and the way that millionaires write shit off via taxes, there's a Russell Brand video that I'm gonna play after this. Okay, so stick with me long enough to get through this Robert Kiyosaki stuff. If he says something you don't like, stick through it. You know, it's good to listen to people that don't agree with you. Like seriously, but stick through this, and we're gonna listen to Russell Brand as a comedian. But he's been doing this whole like public outreach thing and like trying to educate people lately for like the last 2 years. That's what he's been doing with his message. That's why he hasn't been doing comedy and shit. He's still comedic, but he has a message to share. And so, listen to what he has to say after this. It matches this shit so ridiculously well, and they don't know each other.
And the reason I am so rich is because I'm in debt. And my friend Dave Ramsey says, live debt free. I'm going, well, you're an idiot. I mean, he's my friend. But I say, Dave, I like debt. He says, I know, but most people can't handle debt. I said, I agree. But that's why there's no financial education in schools.
Hey, Omar, you know what I'm doing, bro.
That crappy dollar you have in your hand. I'd rather borrow the money tax free.
And then do what with it?
Huh?
And then do what with it?
I have to invest it and make more money. Everybody thinks it's real estate stocks. You know, I talk to most idiots out there. They go, oh, I have a 401k. I go, well, you've been sold a bill of goods, sweetheart. The government sponsors this 401k. I said, no, the Federal Reserve and Wall Street sponsors it. If you study history, 1974 was an act called the ERISA Act, Employee Retirement Income Security Act. That led to a thing called the 401k. And that was in 1974, just after Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, and then the economy...
Yeah, I just be trying to educate people, and like you know, we just had this whole like thing. Like I left it in our Instagram today, our Instagram stories. It was trending on Twitter that a lot of Twitch streamers are like struggling and stuff like that. They're like, oh, I spend all this time. I don't go to the bathroom when I stream. I don't vacation. I don't do this. I don't do that. And, you know, and I make $1,200 for all that time. I stream every single day, 30 days a week. And I make $1,200, 8 hours a day. It's great that you get to do that. But if you invested it better, you wouldn't even be relying on those fucking platforms. If you believed in other platforms more so than you believe in Twitch, you wouldn't even be, because like I did an experiment, which I left in like Money Match Gaming's playlist. I gotta find that fucking thing. But I did an experiment where I took the $175 that we made from Twitch payouts across 3 months, and I invested it into cryptocurrency and DeFi. And we made over $1,000 in like 3 fucking days. It just shat on it. I wasn't expecting that to happen during the experiment. Like, it could have not happened that way. But the fact that it had the potential to happen that way, there's no potential for that in Twitch. There's no potential for that. And it's fucking wild. And, like, people need to, like, fucking wake up to this shit. Like, when you, like, start understanding math, it's just math. And when you start understanding math, and, like, oof.
Boom, through the stock market. So do I own any stocks? No, because I'm not a communist. I'm a capitalist. I don't have to buy stocks. I invent my own. That's what capitalists do.
You create value.
Yes.
Are you worried then about innovation and how that...
I feel for this Muslim dude, too. I gotta say that. I'm gonna let him play. But I feel for this Muslim dude. Because Robert says some stuff that really irks this dude. And he stays so chill.
could potentially affect things?
I borrow. The more money I borrow, the less tax I pay. So what happens? So let's say...
This is true.
Let's say I own a commercial building and buy it for $1 million. It goes up to $10 million. Most guys would sell it. The moment you sell, let's say, a basis of $1 million to a basis of 10, I have a $9 million capital gain. So instead of selling it and flipping it like most flippers do, I don't flip, I don't sell. So the moment you sell, as you know as an attorney, you've now executed a capital event, a taxable event. So what I do is, let's say I buy a property for $1 million, it goes to $10 million, I'll borrow out 5 tax-free.
And this is what I just learned about cryptocurrency too. I was talking to people about this summer, and I was telling them things like I want to learn ways to hold my Bitcoin, not sell it, and be able to pay the rent. And the answer to that is borrowing, going into debt. Basically, when you borrow, you go into debt. That's all Robert Kiyosaki's talking about right now. So if I had $20,000 worth of Bitcoin, I'm now eligible to borrow somewhere around $10,000. I'm eligible to borrow that. I can, So I'm eligible to borrow somewhere around that amount. AKA, I'm now in $10,000 of debt. You can write off that $10,000. It's non-taxable event. That $10,000 of debt is a non-tax. It's $10,000 you got to do for free with. If you make profit off of that $10,000, fuck it. You got a lot of profit coming in. I don't know how that shit works out, but the more you learn about these rich people, bro, and the shit that they be writing off, the stuff that they be doing, and you have to learn it from rich people. You can't learn it from people that are like, people come to me in like our DMs and stuff like that, bro. And they're talking about how should I invest $10,000? How should I invest $5,000? How should I invest $1,000? I don't know. I've never had that much money to invest. I invest about $100 at a time. and I keep investing about $100 at a time. And when you invest smart, you win. Period. 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 I don't have the $1,000 that people fucking have, bro. Period. That's the answer.
Let me go on and buy some more. You do anything?
Jesus. You're an attorney. You're pretty good.
Well, I don't practice as an attorney, but I do have the attorney name behind mine.
It helps. I know it does help. Like exactly said, people are afraid of attorneys because they don't know the law.
Hold up, let me read my boy comment here. My boy
seen this
said 1,000% or 100%, bro. I remember last time you and I sure pulled up, you were so familiar with the numbers, but oh fam, let me hook you up. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta connect more. I don't want to be like overburdening people and stuff like that with stuff they're not interested in. But we just gotta connect more. Like hit me up on the daily or something like that. Like let's get you set up. I would love to see more fam. I love to see you in the system. Like even if it was just like, I don't want to buy a black any day of the week. I know I'm making that money basically in passive income. When I want to buy a video game, I know I'm making that money per month in passive income. I buy some diapers. I know I'm making that money per month in passive income. That's nice to know that like, even if you're spending it out of your actual account, you're making it somewhere else. Because then when it does become like that fucking vital, you actually need it that bad, you turn to that account that's been making that passive income and you're like, you a few months worth of stacks. Okay, look at your fine ass. That's how you seriously turn and look at that shit by the time it's necessary. And it's wild, but like I've been saying it for a long time, man. You looking back at our videos, I'm trying to pull these videos out recently. I just started going at that shit today to try to pull it out and make it really clean. But it's like when I go back to those specific videos that I've done, and like we started at so little money per day, so little money per day. It's only been like a year or two. I just started with an account with $500 that's making $5 a day. It's
you talk about this in civilizations from the Roman Empire to Venezuela to the Weimar Republic. Anytime someone starts debasing the value of their money with something fake,
bro, I'm just trying to.
How does that?
We really just trying to help people.
You know, I'm just
I don't ask for people to spend any money. I don't want people to spend money.
I
I don't want people to spend money. Don't spend money. Don't spend any money. Look. When I have streams during the day, and I'm buying up ADA, and I'm buying up Bitcoin, and I'm buying up Ethereum, and I'm buying up Hex. When I'm buying up all these tokens throughout the day, I'm spending $0. I'm spending $0. That's fucking wild, man. I'm spending $0. That's fucking wild. I wish I had a job.
That's pretty good.
What position did you play?
Fat boy. Tackle.
So then what? Like, so now you're saying that our economy is...
I'm studying.
That is literally fucking wild, bro.
Military education is different than snowflake education.
Like,
Going to university,
I'm mad it took me long enough to not have a job to be able to learn that much.
So I'm in military school, and I have
Because if I knew that shit when I had a job, bro,
so
fucking ridiculous.
And I started asking him, what's it like to get shot down? He says, well, you don't need to drink coffee for a couple of weeks. And he had to escape and invade, and he was never captured. He says, boy, I tell you, I think at one time he was a month. He was shot down almost over Germany because of P-51 Mustang. I mean, until there was a P-51 pilot. So the B-17 had long range, but our fighter aircraft...
You're going to talk about life for a
second. So as soon as the fighter aircraft dropped off, the Messerschmitts and the Focke-Wulfs jumped him. And that's when the B-17 pilots were shot down left and right.
Okay, my last pause for a second. I'm going to let Robert run for like 5 minutes. For real. Start playing anything that you listen to in 2x speed. If it's informational, if it's a podcast, play it in 2x speed. Fuck 1x. You don't got time for that.
Some of the B-17 pilots said, I hope you have life insurance. Those guys are so brave. They're like the firefighters who went up the towers of 9/11. I mean, those 343 died.
Your ears will adjust.
And those cowards don't understand that behavior. That's what angers me. So when I came back from Vietnam after going down 3 times, then I get spit on, hit by eggs by these hippies who now run our school systems and Hollywood and sports and all this. I got a little upset.
You almost risked your life? I mean, you did risk your life. You almost lost your life.
Not only that, I had to kill people. But people don't know that, like, Mao killed, I think, 110 million people. You know, how many people did, I think, Hitler killed 44 million people, 6 million Jews and a bunch of Slavs and all this. Stalin was one of the biggest murderers of all. But they don't report that in school. Those hippies from Woodstock who spit on me and everything when I came back from Vietnam, they didn't realize in 1930, the Frankfurt School transported from Berlin to New York City called Columbia University's Teacher College. And that's where postmodern education comes from, which is opinion and emotion. STEMs, what science, technology, engineering, and math is out.
So what does somebody do now if you're 30 years old, 25 years old, 35 years old, and you hear about them, money being printed like this? How do you now build wealth? And how do you, I mean, if our economy has not such a bright future, what do you do?
Well, I just say, I have 4 friends. Total is 5. We kind of grew up together. We're all billionaires. We didn't learn any of that in school. We studied history.
So go on and get a history book?
But you said earlier, history is written by the victor, right?
Yeah.
The victor goes history. So it's fake. So that's why I had to do my own. And what's wonderful is, I think, anyway, my cell phone, everybody has a cell phone today. That's the most powerful tool ever created for entrepreneurs. On the iPhone, I mean, Steve Jobs never went to school either. I mean, he dropped out of Reed College. I had a house right next to door to Reed College, the Communist Republic of Oregon. But, and I used to just walk to Reed College and say, oh, Steve Jobs lived here. I was so enamored by it because he was my hero, Steve. And I was going with that. But anyway, he invented this iPhone, which gave more power to every young person than history. The trouble is, without the basic appreciation for history, the average young person doesn't know what they're looking at. What I think is funny, I'm so obsolete. I'm 74 years old, and I had no idea what was going on social media. What people may not realize is that history is disturbed by technology. For example, the Roaring '20s was caused by the radio. So when the radio came in, it was the new authority of the 1920s in the house. So the young people said, so mommy and daddy said, well, this is the way it is. But in the 1920s, my father's generation, they said, no, that's not the way it is. I heard it on the radio. Then my generation, the boomer generation, was television. So I went off to war with John Wayne in my head. I got shot in the shoulder. But it's only, no, you see a bullet wound, it tears the shoulder off. It's not, it's just, it's a Band-Aid on this. So when Americans started seeing My Lai and the atrocities of Vietnam, that's when the boomers erupted. But that was intentional because, media is socialist, communist. And so
the media.
Yeah. So I'm in Hue, the capital, ancient capital of Vietnam. And these reporters come up to me and said, "You're a Marine, aren't you?" I go, "Yes." "You're not supposed to be here." So technically, legally, I'm not here. They took off on that one.
Robert is a crazy dude, bro. Robert is a crazy dude. Robert, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, one of the best-selling financial books in history. Definitely a book that, it's a book that made me, the Wolf of Wall Street is a movie that influenced me. Wall Street itself is a movie that influenced me. Glenn Ross is a movie that influenced me. And before all that, this book is a reason why I even cared to even seek any information from those clips or from those movies. Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
So Americans would not support us in Vietnam. Our own media betrayed the troops on the ground.
You think the media still
Makes you think differently.
They're
And I already thought that. I guess I don't know. Which came first? Did I read this book first? Because I got this book when I was 12, 10. And for anybody that's known me through college and high school and stuff like that, I found ways to make money in funny situations where we'll be at, we'll be kicking it, or we got assigned a job or something like that, or we wanted to have a big sleepover and I made a bunch of money so that we could do it. And when I think about it, I got this book right before I won the national championships, state championships and stuff like that in high school or in junior high and stuff like that, in sports. And then I don't know. It's an interesting time. It's interesting timing.
National anthems today.
I didn't think about it like that before.
It's racist. If you just study history. But our school system,
Not saying the book got all the answers or something like that. I'm just it just changed my thinking, I guess.
1973. Coming back 1 year in Vietnam. And
I was young.
Hit by eggs. My own baby boomers, friends. I come home, I get spit on at school in Hawaii and all this. They turned, media turned against us, the soldiers, the Marines, the sailors, the women, the men. It was horrible. I was going for my MBA at the University of Hawaii. It only lasted 6 months. Wow. I couldn't take
thank you, bro. Somebody was just saying that tonight during his stream. I was thank you, bro.
My generation.
He was yeah, you be bringing it for the gaming community for real with this financial knowledge and shit. I'm trying to. I'm really trying to, because we can
It's the same as
we don't gotta be left behind.
I was landing in Rome, Italy, and I couldn't believe what was happening. So I see the towers burning and all this. The next day, I'm in Istanbul speaking to Muslims, and I stood up there and I went, I hate to say this, but I do not understand the Muslim religion. I think that's the problem. We don't understand each other.
Lack of education, and that goes across.
Yeah, but I want to tell you what we're taught. Is the Muslims believe in killing.
Oh, commenting is good. Any questions you got, you can comment me. But during the day or whatever, you want to DM me?
You're radicalized.
Anything.
Some people are Patriots fans and some people are Patriots fans. They're radicalized. They're nuts.
Anything.
So I'm standing in front of 500 Muslims. I have no idea what Muslims are.
Except in case that's you.
Just radicals. So I realized what I was
taught
about
anything. I wake up, check our Instagram stories for Money Match Gaming. I don't know if I shared how much money we made today, or not. I don't know. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I don't share all the money either. I share 1 or 2 platforms. But when I'm able to go to my other screen and just randomly pull some numbers like this, what the fuck is this, bro? Somebody working an entire day to make that much money. I'm just going to a random tab. The fuck? That's unheard of to me. It's unheard of. And if I can share any of that with anybody else and have them actually do what I've done and they have more money than me, because I don't have that much money and other people have more fucking money than me, bro. And I'm like, dude, if you can do that, fucking Christ, you could be set for life. You're actually making money right now. You could be set for fucking life. I'm using the shit that I've had and compounding it over and taking losses off of the shit that I have on the computer right now. Other people are actually getting money coming in daily off of checks, or like not daily, like weekly, bi-weekly off of checks, dude, you could be so fucking wealthy. Like, oh my God, I'm just trying to help people. Like, at least educate them.
And so that's why I speak and I say we need to find more respect.
Like, it ain't about me.
More respect for the religions, beliefs.
I'm like, bro. Like, but if other people make the come up, then everybody make the come up.
But don't take my freedoms away. Don't take my freedom of speech and the right to bear arms away. That's all I ask. Just don't censor me. And I've been censored so many times lately. Plus called a white supremacist and a racist. I'm like, oh my God. But they haven't studied history. And my family, when they're interned in California and up and down the Montana and all over there, they put the Japanese. Because all they did was inspire my uncles to go and fight for America. We're Japanese Americans. We're not Japanese, we're Americans. And so the 442nd Infantry Battalion was an all-Japanese battalion. It turned out to be the most highly decorated battalion in U.S. history. That's my uncles. 7 went to war. All 7 came back. 2 went to fight the Japanese in Japan.
I get energetic about that. I get energetic. I lo siento. I lo siento.
Portuguese, Chinese.
I get energetic.
It's a culture. And what I don't like is that
I'm like,
race,
bro.
Black Lives Matter, and all that, they're splitting us. We're not everywhere with each other, but that's our iPhone. You know, we can
I will show you.
people so quickly today. Got a mob going and all this stuff. It's just run on emotion and opinions, not the facts yet. Yeah, that's why I speak and I say what I wrote in my book, Capitalist Manifesto.
Trying.
It's because it changed my whole point of view. And that B-17 pilot at the Academy in New York.
You know what the funniest thing is? Because you know something. So you would understand this reference. The funniest thing is, this is the funniest thing. This is the funniest thing. They didn't reach out or nothing like that in time. But I thought this is the funniest thing. Why is it that in 2020, I may just have accomplished financial freedom in 2020. 2020. Dude. I'm like, you the one person that would actually get that fucking reference. And I'm like, bro, 2020. Yo. That's fucking hilarious.
To go, when the fighter escorts dropped off, so the B-17 is flying for Germany. And then finally, until they had the P-51 Mustang, the fighter escorts had to drop off, and the Luftwaffe jumped. I said, how'd you guys keep going?
I think you're spot on, with the lack of education and understanding of one another. I think a lot of people feel left out.
Yes.
In the economy, in the country, from different religions to different people, from different races, people feel left out and they're pain.
Like, if they don't reach out, they got one fuck of a story. They got one fuck of a story for that school, bro. They got one fuck of a story. Like, how you do it? You did what? With what money? Nothing? You did what? Bro.
And this goes back to, we can just look at the wealth gap. Anytime you see a widening wealth gap, you start to see more unrest. People feel left out. They feel left out of the economy. They feel left out of the system.
But when did you invest in it? Oh,
so,
you didn't.
It goes back to the economy at that point. Right? It's money.
It's money. You know, I'll quote Marx. I'm not interested in money, but money is the reason we fight. And Marx also said revolution is the locomotive of history. We're on the verge of revolution
right now.
Right now.
What does that mean?
You gotta have a gun.
You mean like
that's why they want to defund the police and all that.
So you're saying, get a gun, buy some ammo, protect yourself.
Well, I'm much simpler man. Gold, silver, Bitcoin, and bullets.
Gold, silver, Bitcoin, and bullets. All right.
I mean, I've made so much money on bullets. You have no idea because being kind of. Let me tell another story. Because when I went to school in New York, I had a Jewish friend, and in Hawaii, we don't know, we don't pay attention to that stuff. Like growing up, you're either white or non-white. That was it. I don't really care. I just wanted to know how come the white guys were rich and the Asian guys weren't. That's all I cared about. And they're all good people. Just different.
Yeah, all people. Yeah, you're good and bad, right? Across color, across religion.
Yeah, and some of the biggest crooks I met are white guys. This company has been screwed by white guys and women more than any other company I know. I mean, it's horrible. We're helping them educate financial well-being. No, they came to fucking steal. They're all accountants and attorneys.
You're attacking me on that one.
No, I'm just saying, you can't tell by the surface. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So today, those guys did me a favor because for every bad partner, I found good partners. And today I have a team of about 12 of us.
Man, that's the part that Money Match Gaming at right now.
Team sport.
This right here is what Money Match Gaming is at right now. This is where we're at right now. I've had success alone. I've had success with a few. We need to expand the team. We need a bigger team. I want that Wu-Tang type shit. I want like a big ass squad of motherfuckers that's making it and doing it. And I can teach them and they listen and we just all fucking make money. Like, bro, what he talking about?
It's called cheating. I cheat like a well man. I have the best accountants, attorneys, doctors, lawyers. I mean, you gotta have a specialist. But I go in as a team and schools tell you to be smart on your own. That's why my poor dad was poor. He had to be a PhD when you jack shit.
So how do you learn that? I mean, like if you're a parent, your kids are in school, how do you teach them? How do you teach them to become successful?
Well, that's why my book coming out November 10th, 2021. November 10th is the Marine Corps birthday. Okay? And the positioning statement in the Capitalist Manifesto is how to counter communism taught in our schools by teaching capitalism in our homes. So in 1996, my wife and I created the cash flow board game to teach the basics of accounting and finance at home. Because I'll never teach you that in school. Because it's capitalist. School teachers are communists. They don't think about money. They believe in centralized government. They believe in high taxes, tax dollars. They believe all that stuff.
Facts. I don't care what his political agenda is. Afterwards, what he just spit right there is straight facts. Why didn't they teach you anything about accounting? I remember part of a home ec class, a teacher decided to teach part of accounting. And when I found out that these students had that opportunity from home ec, I was pissed. I was actually pissed because I was like a all-star honor student, whatever the fuck grades that you can get, access to all the classes and shit like that. I'm trying to get everything. And then I found out that like the home ec class got some shit on taxes and stuff that they like didn't tell you that was gonna happen. It was just because the teacher was like, they wanted to include that in their shit. They thought that would be nice. I was so livid. I can't tell you how livid I was as a child, bro. I was actually pissed as fuck. I was so upset. It's living with me to this day. It's like 20 years later, bro, and I can remember that. I was so upset. And like these kids were like complaining about it. And I was like, you get to learn that? Oh, I was so pissed.
Tax the kids that go to school and get them deeply in debt. Oh, Obama, you should go to school. Get loaded with student loan debt. Student loan debt is the worst possible debt possible because it's unforgivable. So I can BK out of a bad loan, bankrupt. You can't do that with a student loan. There's a building right behind one of my projects. The biggest building on the block is dedicated to student loans.
Wow.
And people don't see that. They call me a crook because I make millions of dollars. I follow the law. I pay zero taxes. But I understand debt. I understand taxes. I understand the central banks. That's why Ron Paul, said, and the Fed. The Fed is a Marxist organization. Just read history.
But we still need doctors and accountants and engineers. We still need these people.
I didn't say we didn't need them. I'm just saying they've been indoctrinated into Marxism. That's no different like when I was in Istanbul speaking to Muslims. I said, I don't even know what Muslim religion is. I just told you guys we're infidels. They're good people.
It's like you start off so far behind that you don't even understand the basics so that you can understand the actual game.
Because most Marines are very
like, how you gonna be good at like to sports level? How you gonna be good at basketball? And that's my real sport. Like I'm good at football and shit like that. I'm good at baseball. I'm good at a lot of sports. I'm really good at basketball. How you gonna be good at basketball if you don't even understand the basics of the game? Like, you don't understand the basics. Same thing as football, because it's really just strategy. But like, you don't understand the basics, then ain't no way you go. Like, bro, you can't do shit fancy. Don't even try. You might get a 50% of the chance. 50% of the time. Like, it just like, I don't know. If you're a sport person, you're like, for sure. Like, yeah, you gotta understand like the fundamentals. If you're a gaming guy, you're like, yeah, fundamentals. Yeah. You ain't got no fundamentals. How the fuck you gonna get like, you know what I'm saying? Get master level, get master rank. And like, that's all they're saying is like, oh. And I'm like, we don't teach the fundamentals. We don't teach any fundamentals. That's the other thing. Is that how do we have an educational system that doesn't teach any portion of the fundamentals for that what would be sport? No portion of it. You graduate from high school one day and they're like, you're 18, you should know how to pay these taxes, which you've never talked about for that job you now got. Like, what? There was a time when the internet didn't exist. What the fuck is that? That's the most... Dude, if you don't get how bullshit this is, if you don't get how bullshit this system is, and how janked it is, and the fact that it's made that way, because if you didn't figure out, 10 years might have gone by since you graduated high school and started working for yourself. 20 years might have gone by. And then one day, the government knocks on your door and says, yo, you got 20 years worth of fucking taxes that you haven't paid. And that's the actual fucking system. If you don't get, that's disgusting. And that's a vast majority of Americans' life. Bro, look, good Lord, you got the internet. A lot of people didn't grow up with the fucking internet, man. Just, whew. Oh my God. Like, dude. Oh, that's actually life.
I'm going out there, I'm blasting away and wiping them out and all this. What the hell am I doing, But when you're getting shot at, it's not a time to question your philosophical beliefs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When your friends don't come home, cry. I mean, I remember I was in Singapore and I saw one of my classmates from high school. He was a Marine Corps A6 pilot, A6 intruder. He had the nastiest mission. The A6 was called the Flying Coffin because they were just experimenting with driverless cars to drive a pilotless plane. So the A6 would come in, it would drop to deflate. Deflate means it could fly between mountains and planes and all this, and then drop its bombs and come off. So his name was Robbie Peacock. So he was one of those rich kids I went to school with when I was in elementary school. I said, hey Robbie, how you doing? I'll see you back in Hawaii. I'll see you there, man. And he was dark. He was a brilliant kid. Next day he was dead. Never came back. They never found him. Another friend that was shot down. Same A6, they never found him. The other friend was a F4 pilot. He spent
Hold on, let me pause real quick. Mom, you coming in here on that Wu-Tang shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Where you can fit. I'm gonna check that link out. I'm gonna save it right now to my personal docs, letting you know what I'm doing. You can't see it on screen right now. I can show you on screen. You know what I'm saying? Let's show you get to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm copying this. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm for real about that shit. We need to build a massive fucking strong organization. Not just massive, but strong as fuck. Motherfuckers that want to work. Motherfuckers that have a vision for the future. I remember Money Match Games' early co-founders were talking about cryptocurrency dead in 2018. And I'm like, bro, it's not even about that, man. Is it? If you don't understand the .com and like the fact that shit happened, the fact that sliced bread happened, the fact that planes fly right now, if you don't understand the implications of what the fuck I'm talking about and what it can mean for our company, you gotta go, and I will buy you out. And I bought them out. So thank you. 'Cause I'm trying to make motherfuckers money. I'm trying to teach you shit for free. I want to teach you for free. Period. I want you to be financially independent. Everything that you want to be. Shit.
The hand I healed. You know, the pain in my heart is strong because these are my friends.
You saw them
For the last time. And then meanwhile, I have to go into battle and I have to do things I really don't want to do. But remember this, socialists and communists have killed the most people in world history. So that's why I speak. You know, you probably get deplatformed for this one. I get taken off all the time. But I just tell people what I know. You know, you want to be a communist? It's a free country.
Like, I keep pausing this shit. But before, even when I had a salary job, I thought, bro, when I had a salary job, I was like, it's crazy. You motherfuckers don't pay me the same amount of money every week. It's crazy. And then at the same time, I was fearful every single fucking day. What about if they don't think I'm worth it? And it made me, think that, if nothing else, we need to become financially independent. I need to have the power they have so that what they say, no, one day, this is just a thing that I want to do. I want to help them. I wanted to help them anyways. And I don't think they understood that because it was going to benefit me. So I wanted to help them anyways. But I just wanted to be in a position that, one day, if they didn't need me or if they couldn't have me or whatever the fuck, I would still be okay. And that's what everybody should be after, honestly. Like, because one day, maybe somebody decides that is the case. And it's like, bro, what about you? Seriously. That sounds
you want to censor people?
But I'm like, for real.
I'll be a Christian. Fine. I'll be an atheist. Fine.
That's literally why we made this fucking company.
Capitalists make a lot of money paying no taxes. Legally.
And the way that you always talk about the build wealth is you just start buying assets. Buy
I don't buy them, I create them.
Read assets.
What about Albert Einstein saying that imagination is more important than knowledge? I make up my own assets. I don't need to go to the freaking stock market. I can create my own.
But if you're 25 years old and you want to become rich, you want to become wealthy, you want to become the next Robert Kiyosaki, you have to start somewhere.
Right, but that's education, but they don't teach that in school.
Right, so what I'm saying is now in today's market, you have strong stock
there was a
market,
point in time when I was like, if my family gets sick, and they're like, oh, you need $100 deposit a week or something like that. And I was like, I can't make that. That hurt. That really hurt. And I had to solve questions like that. And so, like, anything that can solve that is better than having no answer.
State market.
It's not crash. We're in a depression right now. A recession is 2 quarters of declining growth.
Right.
But a depression is suboptimal. So you got to, let's say that your GDP should be 4%, but you're operating at 2%. That's a depression. People don't know history. Is that what happened on September 17, 2019? There was a crash in the repo market. The average person has no idea what the repo market was. Then what happened in 2021? So they pumped up. The last time there was a crash in the repo market was 2008. So I'm sitting here in 2019, September 17th, saying, my God, the repo market crashed. And then a few months later, COVID appears. I'm like, oh my God, here it is.
Can you tell us what the repo market is?
Repo market is, I call it the pawn shop. It's where people go in there and they what happened at the repo market is the Fed starts pumping money into the commercial banks, like American.
We gotta let Robert talk for a second because they got so much information. Okay, and I gotta say this: I don't agree with everything that they say in this shit. I don't agree with their political agendas. I don't conform to Democratic or Republican, flat out. I don't, because I conform to what politics makes sense, what policies make sense. Nobody has all the policies that I want. It's really choosing what the fuck I think is not going to do the most harm to everything. I'm a utilitarian. If that's a political party and it's not, that's what party I would assign to.
Well, it's not even goes into the economy. It stays within the banking system. So what happens in a reverse repo? So 2008 was a repo, 2019 was a repo, and what happened in 2021 was a reverse repo. The money started coming out of banks and going back to the Fed. Now the average guy, what does that mean? It means that the commercial banks don't trust their assets. Their assets are questionable. There's valuation. Valuation is an opinion. This house is worth $10 million. That's an opinion. So they started wondering what was the true valuation of their so-called assets. So the money started coming out of commercial banks like Bank of America and Wells Fargo, flowed back into the Fed because they'd rather have it at the Fed than in the marketplace.
So you're saying banks don't trust their own assets, or that they're investing
Their
in,
opinions.
and they don't like the opinions anymore. I mean,
So I'm a most boring guy on earth. My friends are billionaires. That's what we talk about. The average person's no idea what we're talking about. We have to watch the flows of cash. That's why my game is called cash flow.
Yeah.
I'm watching which way it's flowing.
I mean, if you look in hindsight, 2001 seemed obvious. 2008 seemed obvious.
I'll bet you $1 million. You ask 100 people what the repo market is, you'd be lucky at 50 know what it means. That's not a mistake. It's not an indictment against them. It's an indictment against the school system.
Do you think that our stock market is a bubble? We're going to jump back into the video in just a second, but before we do, I want to give you a quick word from the sponsor, BlockFi. If you're interested in cryptocurrency, then you need to check out BlockFi, because with BlockFi, you can finally start...
Okay, so before I let him finish his little ad segment, ads are ads, right? I kind of got a soft spot for ads in my heart because I wanted to be a marketing guy and stuff like that, and a creative guy, and I thought ads is a funny way of being able to send your message out to the world. When I was growing up, I was like, oh, that's a way that you can send your message to the world, and you can be funny about it or you can be boring about it. That's kind of cool. That's just the way that it existed, because the internet didn't exist when you first saw advertisements on TV. I thought it was really cool. And but what this guy's going to talk about in this ad specifically is BlockFi, which is not sponsored by anybody. We're too small. But when I was talking about being able to not sell your Bitcoin and and Robert was talking about a non-taxable event, BlockFi offers that non-taxable event on your Bitcoin. If you had $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, or 1,000, let's say you had $1,000, that's more reasonable. I think that's more reasonable. If I had $1,000 worth of Bitcoin and I wanted to take out a $2,000 loan from $3,000 loan from BlockFi, it would be non-taxable. I'm in debt. That debt's right. I can write that off. Nothing. So non-taxable event. And so that's what this type of shit offers you. And so it's finding stuff like this. So BlockFi is not actually a bad thing. I think it's a pretty dope thing. Finding more things like BlockFi. They're not necessarily the best one out there, but they're the most mainstream. And so there's things that exist out there that compete with them that are even better when you go down the rabbit hole. But that requires going down the rabbit hole. But the more you know.
Earning interest on your cryptocurrency. So if you own Bitcoin or Ethereum or one of the stable coins, you can earn interest just for holding onto your cryptocurrency. So now you don't have to wait to sell your coin to make some money. You can just hold it and earn some interest through BlockFi. BlockFi is not a bank. It's a crypto financial institution that will pay you when you keep your cryptocurrency at BlockFi. The way it works is you deposit your cryptocurrency into BlockFi, and then BlockFi uses your cryptocurrency as collateral to lend out money in cryptocurrency to big institutions, and then these institutions pay BlockFi interest, and then they pay you for keeping your cryptocurrency at BlockFi. And the best part is you can pull out your cryptocurrency whenever you want. You are not bound to keep your cryptocurrency there for any period of time. You can deposit your cryptocurrency and pull it out at any time you want. Plus, they just launched a new ACH feature which allows you to passively buy cryptocurrency. So you can set up a schedule where you're buying $10 worth of Bitcoin or Ethereum every single day or every single week, and as soon as you buy this cryptocurrency, it's going to start earning you interest. Now, this is not completely risk-free because BlockFi is not FDIC insured because they're not a bank. But if you do want to learn more and you want to see how you can earn interest on the cryptocurrencies that you do own, I'll put a link where you can learn more and get started with BlockFi in the description below. Minority Mindset is a paid partner with BlockFi, so if you use them, we will get compensated, but there's no additional cost to you. So if you want to learn more and see how you can earn interest on your cryptocurrency, I'll put the link to where you can do that in the description below. And now, let's go back to the video.
It's criminal. I mean, the only reason they gave the CEOs all that money is so they can repurchase their stock. So let's say I'm IBM or Ford. You give me $1 million, right? So I borrow $5 million from the Ford's treasury. I buy $6 million of my stock. It jacks the stock price up. So mommy and daddy with their 401k, the Ford Motor Company went up and it's all floating on debt.
Okay. I'm going to play this part right before they started this so you guys can get all that together.
My friends are billionaires. That's what we talk about. The average person has no idea what we're talking about.
So he says, my friends are billionaires. This is what we talk about.
We have to watch the flows of cash. That's why my game is called cash flow.
Yep.
We have to watch the flows of cash. That's why my game is called Cash Flow. Robert Kiyosaki not only has one of the most well-selling financial books of all time, Rich Dad Poor Dad, but also a game that him and his wife sell called Cash Flow. It's a board game. I need to buy this game. I might be able to play it by myself, but I need to buy it. Because I don't understand I'm still learning, y'all. We all learning.
I'm watching which way is it flowing.
I mean, if you look in hindsight, 2001 seemed obvious. 2008 seemed obvious.
I thought, what's crazy? He said 2001 seemed obvious. 2008 seemed obvious. These guys are paying attention to the financial sector. I thought 2020 seemed obvious. I was screaming off the top of my fucking lungs from 2017 to 2020. I seemed like a fucking crazy person. I actually seemed fucking crazy. Bro, I would be saying shit to people, and I'm like, dude, but the math makes sense. And it seemed so far shot that I was like, what about if they're all, people look at me like I'm crazy and shit like that. Like, what if they're right? I'm like, what I'm saying? It's a little far shot. You have that shot in the back of your head, on occasion. But I'm like, I'm just literally just doing math, though. Like basic algebra that we've been taught and stuff. And, and like listening. And so like, could it really be off? And then it actually comes to fruition. That was the fucking wildest year of my goddamn life. Dude, that was so damn wild. That was so wild. I can't believe the math works out that way. You can't. I just dropped everything. You can't do math. This is algebra. Okay.
$1 million. You ask 100 people what the repo market is, you'd be lucky if 50 know what it means. That's not a mistake. It's not an indictment against them. It's an indictment against the school system.
Do you think there's...
My friends are billionaires. That's what we talk about. The average person's no idea what we're talking about. We have to watch the flows of cash. That's why my game is called cash flow.
Yeah.
I'm watching which way it's flowing.
I mean, if you look in hindsight, 2001 seemed obvious. 2008 seemed obvious.
I'll bet you $1 million. You ask 100 people what the repo market is, you'd be lucky if 50 know what it means. That's not a mistake. It's not an indictment against them. It's an indictment against the school
This should be the dude. I was just talking about this the other day. You just said that something. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I was watching Fox News, and then I watched like some other stuff. Like I like to watch people with conflicting opinions and stuff like that because it's better. And I was just really surprised. Like whatever. I'm like I want to say nothing against them, but no, seriously something against them. I was like, why aren't they actually reporting on stuff though? They're like giving a lot of opinion pieces. These are all opinion pieces and not actually news reporting. I want to see you report fucking news, not give me your fucking opinion. I'm supposed to be able to gather my opinion from what you gave me as fucking fact and what you know. Why is it all your damn opinion? And I was actually like a little upset about that. Because I'm telling people when they watch this shit like to gather their own opinion. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I say something that's a little biased toward a side, whatever, or if I watch too many videos, let me know on one side or something like that. But we're trying to educate you toward a certain sector. But that was wild to me, bro. It was like comedy and opinion.
Do you think that our stock market is a bubble? We're going to jump back into the video in just a second, but before we do, I want to give you a quick word from our sponsor, BlockFi.
The average guy has no clue what I just said to you.
How much time do we have left?
Oh,
we're finished.
What does the other average guy not know?
Well, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think we're pushing the debt to GDP ratio.
Okay.
Debt is out of
So
sight.
they're about to talk about the United States.
They want to see how you can earn interest on the cryptocurrencies that you do own.
That money is so they can repurchase their stock. So let's say I'm IBM or Ford. You give me $1 million, right? So I borrow $5 million from the Ford's treasury. I buy $6 million of my stock. It jacks the stock price up. So mommy and daddy with their 401k.
So this is how rich guys operate in the stock market. This is how rich people operate in the stock market, and this is what they're thinking about. This is from one of the United States 1%. This person has enough money to move the market on one of their decisions. That's what this means to you. That's what this should mean to you. That's a fact. It's a fucking fact.
Started with BlockFi in the description. But no, Minority Mindset is a paid partner with BlockFi, so if you use them, we will be compensated, but there's no additional cost to you. So if you want to learn more and see how you can earn interest on your cryptocurrency, I'll put the link to where you can do that in the description. But no, and now let's go back to the video.
It's criminal. I mean, the only reason they gave the CEOs all that money is so they can repurchase their stock. So let's say I'm IBM or Ford. You give me $1 million, right? I borrow $5 million from the Ford's treasury. I buy $6 million of my stock. It jacks the stock price up. So mommy and daddy with their 401k. The Ford Motor Company went up and run. It's all floating on.
One of the richest men in America just said they give these rich people a whole bunch of money. What the fuck they gonna do? I can choose a company to buy the stock up on with the money they just gave me. I already have my money. You just gave me a bunch of free fucking money. I'm gonna jack this price up on debt. On debt. On debt. On the United States just randomly printed out. And like, what does he mean by that? The United States just randomly decided to, or not just the United States, so it's not like the president or something like that, and that's an issue a lot of people have. It's the Fed Reserve. Look up what the Fed Reserve is. But we decided to print out a whole bunch of fucking money. We decided to print out a whole bunch of money, which creates more debt.
That money is so they can repurchase their stock. So let's say I'm IBM or Ford. You give me $1 million, right? So I borrow $5 million from the Ford's treasury. I buy $6 million of my stock. It jacks the stock price up. So mommy and daddy with their 401k. The Ford Motor Company went up and run. It's all floating on debt.
You think this is the honest way down?
Let me just say this much. Markets go up, and markets come down. It's coming down. And then we're going into depression, and then we're going to revolution.
What does depression look like?
Depression is when more jobs are lost and they have to print more money. It's just as they did to prevent when Fauci, fascist Fauci shut down the U.S. economy, the whole world economy shut down. How can they pay people not to work?
I shut this lady down on Twitter the other day because she couldn't understand charts.
Consumer loan debt is out of sight. Stock market is all based upon debt.
We have more national debt than GDP.
Well, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think we're pushing the debt to GDP ratio. Okay, the debt to GDP is really simple. When debt to GDP hits 90%, so we have 90% debt to GDP. That's pretty optimal. That means every dollar you borrow, when there's 90%, the economy grows by 10%. So it's a 10 to 1, 10% ratio. The debt to GDP ratio is 140%. You cannot add any more money to it. It's not going to grow. That's what it means. So it's like a guy who has a house, he kept refinancing his house and he loses his job. He can't borrow anymore. So that's what happened when the debt to GDP went past 90 to 1, 90% debt to GDP. Today's 140%. We're bankrupt.
Okay, so let's slow down there. I know I'm playing in 2x speed, and Robert just said a whole bunch of crazy ass shit. Honestly, it's a lot for me to take in all the time. I've watched this like 3 different times at this point, all the time, every time in 2x speed though. I'm ill, but you know what I'm saying, get more times in. So, anyways. He just explained that he tried to compare it to a person who was constantly refinancing their house. Why do you refinance your house? You don't have enough money to pay for your house, so you try to get a better deal on the house. You try to pay off a smaller amount of the house at a time or for a longer period of time, something like that. That's what you're trying to do with refinancing the house. But what happens if your job only allows you to? Why are you doing that? You're probably doing that because your job is only paying you, or whatever your income strategy is only paying you so much money that you have to consistently, over however many months or years or weeks, whatever the fuck it is, you have to consistently refinance that situation. It could be like we're talking about a house right now, but this could be groceries. This could be refinancing your fucking groceries. How many groceries we get, what type of groceries we get, how often we eat out, what type of vacations we take. But we're talking about a house right now. But you have to refinance that shit. And over time, from refinancing, eventually you can't they won't let you loan anymore to keep refinancing the house. You've basically expanded. You've expended past your amount, your buying amount, or whatever the heck. It's just gotten that bad, and you can't afford it. Basically, that's really what the story is. You can't afford it anymore because of whatever your strategy is or whatever they're paying you. It might not even be your fault. It's just what they're paying you. Fact of the matter is, oftentimes it isn't the workers' fault. Fact of the matter is, if you look at history, you look at France, you look at Germany, you look at the United States, you look at Russia, it's often not the fault of the worker. It's often the fault of the government and the monetary policy and the greater macroeconomic monetary policies that affect the workers and what that money then equates to in that economy. Look at Venezuela right now. But that often trickles back down on the workers and stuff like that. And so, what were we going to... This all just goes to say that... assets. I don't know. It's a game of assets. I forgot where I was about to go with that, but yeah. It's not really the fault of the workers. It's paying attention to the greater macro economic situation there. I don't know. I hate that being like the answer because that sounds like too keywordy or whatever. But let's keep going through this portion. I wanted to get to LEO trades, and then I want to actually check out some DeFi DeGens in crypto and stuff. And we're gonna, I don't know, I like making money, so we're gonna make some money.
The average guy has no clue what I just said to you.
How much time do we have left?
Debt to GDP. Today's 140%. We're bankrupt. The average guy has no clue what I just said to you.
How much time do we have left?
We're finished. Gold, silver, Bitcoin, bullets.
So let's talk about Bitcoin because this is where a lot of young people are pouring their money into, and then you have people like Michael Burry, shorted the housing market before the 2008 crash, calling Bitcoin the biggest bubble of them all. Says that if you don't understand debt, you don't understand Bitcoin.
And that's why it's at assets.
Is that a safe place to keep your money then?
Just because, with assets, assets is technically something that, even if you went broke, you gotta. This is the funny thing about assets, which I never thought about when I was a child watching movies and stuff like that. But I would see it in movies, and I didn't really truly understand what that meant in movies when I would see that. You would see it, and it would kind of just be like a part of the movie that happened, and you're like, oh, it's a rich person. But that part of the movie that I'm talking about is you'd see a movie and there'd be some rich person and they're going broke, right? So you're watching a movie, it's the downfall of a rich person and they're going broke. And they pull up to their house and they take their car and maybe they take their boat and people are taking furniture out of their house. Why are they taking all those individual assets from a person? Notice I called them assets. Because each of those individual things are assets. That couch was so fucking expensive, it's considered an asset because it had gold trim. That boat is so fucking expensive, it's considered an asset. That car is so fucking expensive, it's considered an asset. And I really couldn't comprehend what the fuck that meant as a child. You get it, but you don't truly get it. It's assets. And the fact of the matter is, those assets maintain their price and they either maintain or grow their wealth across the years. And the United States dollar, which is something I wanted to show real quick on this chart. I'm going to show this over here. This is something I feel like a lot of people have never seen. So this is the United States dollar since its inception as the United States dollar. This is actually since it came off the gold standard and United States citizens were allowed to buy gold again. That's when this chart starts up. There's a lot of history for you that they don't teach you in school right there that I just said in that sentence. But what's the United States dollar been doing since its inception? We started at $1.22 per United States dollar. We've gone down historically, and we have not stopped going down. We have had times where we rise up, and then we go down. The last time we made a major rise up was starting around 2008. Previous to that, like it was like the 2001 and so crisis and the terrorism crisis and stuff like that, when we started to have a huge downfall in international markets and stuff like that. But we've been going down since then, and nobody teaches that type of shit. Nobody teaches that type of shit. Nobody talks about that type of shit. Nobody lets you know that type of shit. And when people want to talk about, hold on, let me go back to this real quick. When people want to talk about current administration and this and that, like I'm like, every administration makes their mistake. It's more about the monetary policy of the Federal Reserve. Number one, it's more about that. And if you want to talk about fucking stats in that sense, this is just to get people from being so fucking divided. I use this as like something to get people from being so fucking divided, because like you need to pay attention to the bigger macro situation. If you want, like, if they're really stuck in politics of parties and stuff like that, this is the Obama administration. We go up. This is the Trump administration. 2016, right here. Since he took office, we went down. Look up when quantitative easing doubles down in the United States. We started quantitative easing during the Obama administration. We decided during the Bush administration. We actually did it during Obama. And so Trump decides to double down on this strategy, which is actually really risky. So that we see the market continue to go up, it's euphemism for people. That's really, and bailing out certain partners and stuff like that, people that he likes. Why wouldn't you bail out your friends? Come on. If you can do so, why wouldn't you? But yeah, something went wrong. 2020. And when you look at quantitative easing, nothing is allowed to go wrong. Nothing is allowed to go wrong. And so 2020 hit, something went wrong, and our market started to go down. And if you look up quantitative easing, nothing is allowed to go wrong. Like I just said, nothing is allowed to go wrong. If something goes wrong on a catastrophic level, like we had, the chances of you being able to fix that are very slim. That's just what like the research on what this means. And so, though we have not currently faced the catastrophic level of it, we are not yet at the catastrophic level of what is supposed to happen when quantitative easing goes wrong, especially when you double down on it. But we have had some bad side of things. I'm like, I'm trying to be all doom and gloom and shit. Like, I'm just letting you know what the fuck is that. Like, look that shit up. Look the shit up I'm talking about.
Only reason I buy Bitcoin is I don't trust my government.
We can't offer financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional or anything like that. I'm a dude who lost his job in the pandemic like a lot of other people did. And I've always been a social media marketer, digital marketer, content creator, and stuff like that. And I like to read and listen to people.
Bank. I don't trust the Treasury. I don't trust basement Biden, and I don't trust the stock. Now, if you trust all four of them, have a good luck. I have gold, silver, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is a bet against the government. I'll say this one more time. If you study Marx, a central
gold,
bank,
land, I'm from understand watches as
Fed.
well. Appreciate,
It's
yeah,
the
watches.
Fed.
Watches are actually a good call.
In
Yeah,
1913, the
seriously.
Fed was created, so was the tax department.
That's smart.
In 1913. Oh, coincidence.
It's funny.
The average guy has no idea that
Funny you
happened.
said that.
Another thing about Bitcoin is my basis is $7,000.
Like,
You
not a
want
lot of
to
people know that.
Yeah, so always remember your profits made when you buy, not when you sell. So do I recommend people buy? I think Bitcoin's around 40,000 today.
Like, it's often because the watches are made with really good quality things, and it's a really craft.
Of course. Why low so high?
Watchmaking is a fucking skill. It's a damn crazy ass skill. I know this guy who like basically he studied with these Amish folks to like learn watchmaking and stuff. That's a crazy story in itself. It's crazy enough to sound like it's made up. But I know some hippie people, bro. So yeah, that's what he did because he was really into watchmaking. He used to work for like a news station, and he quit the news station to do that shit. So I guess he's fortunate enough. But that's what he did. And the pictures that he would share on Instagram and stuff like that are crazy, bro. I'm like, dude, that looks so fucking intricate. That is so amazing. Thank you for sharing that. One of those situations. Like, I'm not on social media enough to like check out your dope ass shit, bro. But every time I see it, I'm gonna support you, because that's dope. And more people should know that it's that intricate, and that's part of what makes it so like the price appreciation is going up over time. Like I was saying it earlier in streams today that the funny thing is you could hold you could keep broken down cars. Every broken down car that you kept, it could be a total junker, is worth more in United States dollar year over year than actual dollars. The broken down junker is actually going up in value year over year. The United States dollar is actually going down in value year over year. And just simple inflation and appreciation. The junker is actually going up that much more, way more than the dollar. And that's crazy. But it's also really nice to know.
So, I borrow out. You see, I'm trying to think tax law, English common law, and Amsterdam was corporate law. So what happens is, let me give the same example. I buy Bitcoin or a property at $1 million.
It don't even have to work. The car it don't even have to work. The car doesn't have to work. It can be parts.
I trust all four of them. Have a good one. I have gold, silver, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is a bet against the government. I'll say this one more time. If you study Marx, a central bank is essential communism. That's the Fed. It's the third central bank we've had. It came into existence in 1913. In 1913, the Fed was created, so was the tax department.
This is an important part.
The 10% ratio.
This is a really important part. I'm going to play this a few times. Maybe. I don't know.
Debt.
We have more national debt than GDP.
Well, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think we're pushing the debt to GDP ratio. Okay, but the debt to GDP, it's really simple. When debt to GDP hits 90%, so we have 90% debt to GDP. That's pretty optimal. That means every dollar you borrow, when it's 90%, the economy grows by 10%. So it's a 10 to 1 10% ratio. Let me just say this much. Markets go up, and markets go down. It's coming down. And then we're going into depression, and then we're going into revolution.
What does depression look like?
Depression is when more jobs are lost and they have to print more money. It's just as they did to prevent when Fauci, fascist Fauci shut down the U.S. economy, the whole world economy shut down. How can they pay people not to work? America is now the largest debt nation in history. Student loan debt is out of sight. Consumer loan debt is out of sight. Stock market is all based upon debt.
We have more national debt than GDP.
Well, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think we're pushing the debt to GDP ratio. Okay, but the debt to GDP, it's really simple. When debt to GDP hits 90%, so we have 90% debt to GDP. That's pretty optimal. That means every dollar you borrow, when it's 90%.
Like, he can blame Fauci all he want. The truth of the matter is, my job wasn't paying me enough before the damn pandemic. Real talk. I was constantly looking like, yo, when are y'all gonna fucking increase my fucking pay? And like, I like them. I like the opportunity they offer me and everything. But I was like, are you not realizing how much things are going up year over year? And how it's not affordable?
The economy grows by 10%. So it's a 10 to 1 10% ratio. Pay people not to work. America is now the largest debt nation in history. Student loan debt is out of sight. Consumer loan debt is out of sight. Stock market is all based upon debt.
We have more national debt than GDP.
Well, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think we're pushing the debt to GDP ratio. Okay, but the debt to GDP, it's really simple. When debt to GDP hits 90%, so we have 90% debt to GDP. That's pretty optimal. That means every dollar you borrow, when it's 90%, the economy grows by 10%. So it's a 10 to 1 10% ratio. The daily debt to GDP ratio is 140%.
Okay. This is also why when you hear things in the news, okay, nobody's explaining this shit this way, and so somebody has to do it. I'm gonna fucking say it until somebody else in the fucking news actually covers it this way. They've talked about immigrants that have crossed the United States in the last year or two receiving stimulus checks. Biden has claimed that like the claims of immigrants receiving $400,000 is false. Other articles, Wall Street Journal, etc., have stated that, you know, they're going to receive something. And then Biden has also claimed that, you know, if you've lost a child, you deserve some type of compensation. The compensation thing for losing a child under the you know, a well-off country seems to make sense to me. Some type of compensation, probably not $400,000, but like, what is the cost of your child? Especially if it's actually proven it's not some type of scam. That's fucking tragic. the other thing is when you distribute dollars of your own currency into the hands of more people, period, it's better for your economy. It's better for your economy. This is actually a way to stimulate your economy. When you think about this, how did the United States stimulate the economy at all during the COVID pandemic? What did we choose to do? Everybody's sitting at home. What do? You give them all money. Everybody could have been outside bartering and shit like that, selling items from their homes. Other countries have done this in the past. We didn't choose to do that. We chose to do something which people consider a smarter economic solution, which is stimulate your economy by printing more money and handing it to people. Currently, we have a lot of money going out. They've already planned to spend more money, continue the stimulus checks. They've got policies going for people that are unemployed. They figure most people are in those situations. They want to get people back into work. So they're trying not to continue to make more and more situations where they're giving out more stimulus checks. They're trying to incentivize people to go back to work. Who else can they pump this money to stimulate the economy? It's damn sure not the millions of migrant workers in America.
They cannot add any more money to it. It's not going to grow. That's what it means. So it's like a guy who has a house he kept refinancing his house and loses his job. He can't borrow anymore. So that's what happened when the debt to GDP went past 90 to 1, 90% debt to GDP. Today it's 140%. We're bankrupt. The average guy has no clue what I just said to you.
How much time do we have left?
We're already finished. Gold, silver, Bitcoin, bullets.
So let's talk about Bitcoin, because this is where a lot of young people are pouring their money into. And then you have people like Michael Burry, who shorted the housing market before the 2008 crash, calling Bitcoin the biggest bubble of them all. Says that if you don't understand debt, you don't understand Bitcoin. Is that a safe place to keep your money then?
No. Only reason I buy Bitcoin is I don't trust my government. I don't trust the Federal Reserve Bank. I don't trust the Treasury. I don't trust basement Biden. And I don't trust the stock market. Now, if you trust all four of them, good luck. I have gold, silver, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is a bet against the government. I'll say this one more time. If you study Marx, the central bank is essential to communism. That's the Fed. It's the third central bank we've had. It came into existence in 1913. In 1913, the Fed was created. So was the tax department in 1913.
The Fed is corrupt, bro.
The average guy has no idea that happened.
The Fed is not the government. The Fed is corrupt.
Is $7,000.
Meaning you were buying $7 grand.
Yeah. So always remember your profits made when you buy, not when you sell. So do I recommend people buy? I think Bitcoin's around 40,000 today. Would I recommend it at 40? No. But at 6, I would.
So you just wait for it to crash?
Of course. Buy low, sell high. But I never sell. I borrow out. You see, I'm trying to think tax law, English common law, and Amsterdam was corporate law. So what happens is, let me give the same example. I buy Bitcoin or a property at $1 million property, and it goes up to 10. I'll borrow it at 5. Those that's $5 million. I still have the property. I haven't sold it. I have no taxable event because I didn't sell it. So that $5 million is tax free because it's debt. You see, debt is the key. And guys, oh, I live debt free. I mean, you're a stupid monkey. That's what it means. You've just been a puppet on a string taught by school teachers and financial planners and all these guys who know nothing about money.
This is one of the things when I first read your book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I mean, I grew up as a horrible student in English. English was my second language. My dad always told me, don't worry too much about English. Just focus on math and science. You can become a doctor. So I was never good at English. I never read a book. And when I was in high school, my dad gave me this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm like, you're telling me to read a book? And it was when I flight to India, and this is before they had TVs and planes, and I brought the book with me along with my biology textbook and some other stuff. I got bored of studying, so then I picked up this book and let me try this. It's the first time I read a book cover to cover. And I was angry when I read your book. Because you talked about how, you have the ESBI.
That's Cash Flow Quadrant, book 2.
Cash Flow Quadrant. Okay, that was the second book maybe I read. But you were talking about how doctors
pay the highest taxes.
And like the dream for so many immigrants, especially Indian households, is go become a doctor, and become a doctor where you can start your own practice as Quadrant. Become your own boss and pay half of your money, if not more, in taxes.
60%.
60% in taxes.
If you're a doctor or a lawyer, you make $1 million, $600K goes to the government.
You can spend the same amount of time. It takes 10 years to become a doctor. If you take 10 years and you work that hard to learn money, real estate, investing.
And the crazy thing is, like, when you're a doctor and you have to pay that much in your taxes, there's not, I don't know. Maybe there are. Maybe they have some really cool loopholes or something like that. But there's not a whole lot of ways for them to write those taxes off. If you're an entrepreneur and you're a doctor, you might be able to find more loopholes, more ways to actually write those taxes off, like Robert's talking about. And I'm only learning this shit. I'm literally only learning this shit. But I'm going to be implementing this shit because these people are fucking billionaires. Like, why the fuck would I not? Like, bro, look, okay, me doing it is not going to hurt anybody.
You can make the same amount of money, not more, and keep all of it.
I use debt. Remember, 1913, the Federal Reserve Bank, the third Federal Reserve Bank was created of America. The tax department was created in 1913 also. You get the picture yet. And taxes come out of corporate law of Amsterdam because of the shipping. And English common law is English.
Why don't more people, I mean, this is the thing that really I don't understand is why don't people do something about that? Because, I mean, your book is public, people read this and they're like, wow, this is crazy. But then they continue to get angry at people like you. I mean, is something wrong in the system? Do people not have the ability to go out and do it? Or what is it?
Man, I'm about to play this other clip, bro. And he actually mentions this exact moment. And, like, I had this moment at this garden party. That sounds wild and, like, super fucking bougie. The moment of this fucking garden party this summer, bro. And people were, like, getting pissed at these fucking billionaires. They were like, ew, billionaires shouldn't exist. And like when I hear that, I'm like, do you know what inflation is? Because by the definition of inflation, billionaires should exist. It's just a number of years. Fact. I killed you. Everything you had to say about billionaires right there. Your whole definition of billionaires shouldn't exist. Inflation in years. Like, period. Do you believe in mankind? Because billionaires should exist then. With our current monetary policy, which you shouldn't believe in, is our current monetary policy then. Like, and you should be questioning that and doing something about it. Because that's what don't make sense. Because the monetary policy makes it so that billionaires definitely should exist, trillionaires should exist, and it should continue to go up to astronomical levels. We should have quadrillionaires and what, like 100 years less? I don't know. It literally shouldn't be that long. I'm like, fuck, literally, seriously, like watch. You just gotta like, I don't know, bro. That's literally But yeah, we had people that were like, yeah. The point of the story is like garden party. People are super upset at billionaires, the fact that they fucking exist. And I don't know. I guess the counter argument to that is like, why don't we educate more people? Why don't we teach taxes? Why don't we teach accounting in school? And when it is taught, why is it hidden underneath the guise of economics, which is often one of the lowest taken courses in junior high or whatever? Like, it's offered in like junior high and high school, and it's often one of the lowest taken courses because of looking at like feminine, what's this and that. And of course, this type of view is being changed, but then it's often, I don't even know if it's offered anymore though. Like, that's the funny juxtaposition where it's like, yeah, that position of it is being changed, where people are like, okay, it's not so feminine now and this and that, but also at the same time we no longer offer those courses. Great. They can't or won't do the research to separate the two. Dude, so many people won't do the research to separate the two. I be talking to people like, I play a song before every stream called I'm Still on Coinbase. And I'm still on Coinbase myself, honestly, with a little bit of my funds. But I have the same amount of funds that are not on Coinbase. And so I'm like, you know what I'm saying? You got some that are insured by the government, basically, and then some that aren't.
It's not easy. You know what I mean? I wish I could say if it was easy, I'd tell everybody it was easy. Hopefully that more and more people will get the message. You know, we need doctors, you know that. We need less attorneys, you know that.
That's true.
Yeah, they're ambulance chasers now, and I gotta watch out for those guys.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, I really want to get back to this question because now I think we have our audience is a lot of millennials, 25 to 40-year-old people who are really on their journey to become wealth. Many of them are working jobs. This is their way of providing for their families. A lot of people, you know, they're not meant to be entrepreneurs, or they don't have it in it to them to run their own business, or they don't have the risk appetite to do that. So should they stop investing in the 401k? Should they stop putting money in the stock market? Should they take all their money and buy gold? What do they do?
I don't give financial advice because that gets me in more trouble. I just tell people what I do. I own gold mines. I put public. So,
My
yeah,
man
stocks.
is so rich,
yeah,
bro.
my stock's idiot.
Silly.
I own silver mines. I don't trust freaking Chinese. I mean, because my gold mine in China, they took $1 billion gold mine. I was a billionaire for about a year.
I feel this shit.
And the Chinese said, oh, thank you very much. But that's why I know about the Uyghurs and all this stuff. They have the Belt and Road Project. My friends in Hong Kong, they think that COVID came about because they wanted to find a way to stop the Hong Kong riots.
Really?
I mean, there's all opinions, but I can't really prove all that stuff. I just would rather have the gold than the gold mine now. You know, and I've owned silver mines in Argentina. I make fortunes off of that stuff. But my stock, I take companies public. I don't buy stocks. Now, that takes education that you don't get in school. But my
thing that he said right here during this segment, I'm still chewing this section right here that he said, honestly. This is some shit that I feel like we have started to do the investing and stuff like that and money. Like, I'm putting my company in position to do that type of stuff and like understand the taxes and all this other shit. But there's stuff that he's talking about where like he's like, I don't buy assets, I create assets and shit like that. And the way that he starts to explain it here, I think is actually really fucking deep. And I save, like, I need to like this and save it and everything else to make sure that I continue to like research what the fuck that he means by this deeply, because I think this is actually really, really, really important.
Right, you know that.
That's true.
Yeah, they're ambulance chasers now, and I gotta watch out for those guys.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, I really want to get back to this question because now I think we have our audience is a lot of millennials, 25 to 40-year-old people who are...
And let me explain why I think this is also really, really, really important. I have found stuff in the traditional finance world over the last year where companies have been able to do things like create their own stock. So that's creating your own asset in one. A company has created its own asset and then was able to use legal stock and trading laws, be their own brokerage and stuff like that, to trade their own asset between three people with less than like $20,000 or something like that at a time, $20,000 to millions of dollars of profit. That is fucking ridiculous that that's possible. If that's not an advantage, dude, And that was in the Wall Street fucking Journal. That was like, bro, that's crazy, man. That's crazy that people were allowed to do shit like that. And like that same exact stuff. So like when you see people talking about cryptocurrency and, oh, this meme token shot up 20,000% and people made money off it. That's nothing different than what people are doing in traditional finance. And they are sustaining it year after year after year on nothing. On fucking ghost bubbles or like whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Really on their journey to become wealth. Many of them are working jobs. This is their way of providing for their families. A lot of people, they're not meant to be entrepreneurs, or they don't have it in it to them to run their own business, or they don't have the risk appetite to do that. So should they stop investing in the 401k? Should they stop putting money in the stock market? Should they take all their money and buy gold?
But they're smart enough to know these fucking rules. They know these rules. You had to put time in to learn that type of shit. That's the genius of it. Because you talk to somebody like that and they're like, oh, I do whatever the fuck, I just hang out. And they maybe don't like, and they can't. They try to explain part of it to you. And you don't like, you're like, it's too much for me. Like, I don't know how many times, like, I'll be like on Overwatch. I'll be playing a game with people and they'll be like, what are you doing, Smurf? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, my bad. I was just some. Like, no, what are you doing? Seriously. Like, everybody's like actually telling people what they're doing or something. I was like, yeah, I was making some money, bro. I game and make money all day. And they're like, oh, how do you do that? And I like actually tell them for a second. I'm like, yeah, like I basically allocate my different cryptocurrencies. I move my different cryptocurrencies to different farms, as you call them, where I then earn money for just putting my cryptocurrency in that place. And they're like, I don't speak smart, and they don't want to learn anything else about it. And I'm like, all right, if you down, I'll teach you, though. Don't nobody ever hit me up. I actually say, if you down, I'll teach you. Don't nobody ever hit me up afterwards. Ask our moderators, anybody that's a MMG moderator, anybody that's an MMG team player, ask them what the situation with them in communication with Smurf in crypto, and have they made any money? Period. Has he asked for it back?
Advice, because that gets me in more trouble. I just tell people what I do. I own gold mines. I took public. So, yes,
I'm just trying to teach people.
Yeah,
If part of the lesson is giving you some cryptocurrency or something like that, so that you can learn something, that's what it is. And that's only for some of our. I'm not like offering that's like I like the same thing we offer to people. But I'm like, bro, I don't know. It's wild, and that's like our. we wrap it all around gaming. We wrap it all around gaming and like competition and stuff like that. But it's wild that type of opportunity exists to people. We can say things like, we offer people BTT, the cryptocurrency BTT, as a prize reward throughout 2020, 2021, 2000. Was it early 2000? No, I think it's 2022. But they have the opportunity. That's what we generally give away in our Discord all the time. Just give it away for tickets. And that's going up 1,000% year to date. More than 1,000%. If you accepted $100 from Money Match Gaming in 2020, it's worth $1,000 in 2021. We're giving you about the same type of return or better than the government gave you from a stimulus check if you invested it in a Bitcoin.
Because my gold mine in China, they took $1 billion gold mine. I was a billionaire for about a year. And the Chinese said, oh, thank you very much. But that's why I know about the Uyghurs and all this stuff. They have the Belt and One Road project. My friends in Hong Kong, they think that COVID came about because they wanted to find a way to stop the Hong Kong riots.
Really?
I mean, there's all opinions, but I can't really prove all that stuff. I just would rather have the gold than the gold mine now. And I've owned silver mines in Argentina. I made fortunes off of that stuff. But my stock, I take companies public. I don't buy stocks. Now, that takes education that you don't get
in
school.
Or gaming.
But my best thing I say to young people is this: you have the most powerful tool ever created for an entrepreneur.
Or just having fun, learning,
the most powerful tool.
Creating, gaming, pursuing your own passion, showing that you have an interest and a will and a desire to pursue your own passion relentlessly, that you actually want to do that.
And so I think YouTube is fantastic, and I'm on YouTube constantly. So you saw me take off my headsets and all this. I go to sleep with YouTube on, but I choose my teachers wisely.
So who are some of the teachers people can watch?
I listen to guys who hate each other.
My God, show me that you want to do that.
Computer Chef hates Bitcoin. He's the gold guy. Then I listen to Michael Saylor and all these other guys who are Bitcoin guys, and I just listen to the 2 points of view, because in between there is something I can take away.
I'm a marketer. I'm a marketer, true and true. I'm a marketer, true and true. And I find all sorts of crazy shit because marketing relies on research. That's the funny thing about marketing, is that if you want to be a good marketer, you have to do research. And at certain points, this is the bad part about it. Like at certain points, you're like, damn, bro, the research can lead to more money than just doing fucking straight advertising, which is a part of marketing. You don't necessarily need to have big. That's the part about marketing and like fundraising and stuff like that, is that if you're a successful marketer, you don't need thousands and millions of followers. You need a core contingent. That's it. You need a small little strong ass Wu-Tang motherfucker. You need a strong group of people that can all do their shit and they're all successful. And like that's all you need. That's all you need. And like you don't even need that. You be successful by yourself, but it's gonna be that much better if you got all of them. And like, dude, that's truly, and like, yeah, I feel like that's really what I'm currently stuck at. It's like, yeah, we can, like, I see the value in posting all the time and doing like a certain type of marketing, but also deeper and finding out how to message out this deeper shit like this. Where I'm gonna play this next clip afterwards, where this guy kind of mentions that there needs to be more. I'm trying to get the Infinite, who is more traditional finance minded, and his vernacular and is just way more traditional finance, things that I never got to learn in traditional finance. Like I could have looked them up with the internet. I literally just didn't know what the fuck they were called, and it confused the fuck out of me. I didn't know what they were called, and it confused the fuck out of me. And honestly, calling them something like a fucking pancake or something, like as silly as it sounds, it's more. I'm like, that's dumb. It's fucking mean. But I know what memes are, and I'm more interested in looking that up. I don't know. Maybe that's what works in my psychology. It makes me want to look it up more. I don't know. I really don't know. But there's something about crypto that made me look more into both sides of finance and shit. And this dude is going to explain that in this next video.
I said when I was in 9/11 or 9/13, I was in Istanbul talking to Muslims. I said, I'm going to find out about your religion. I was told as a Marine. You know, the Crusades and other infidels and all this crap that we're taught as Marines also. And I said, you guys are good people. They're good people.
As you learn more and more about people, you learn more to respect others, right? Because you learn more about their culture. You learn.
But there was a Sikh or something.
Awkward part of
conversation.
conversation.
Yeah, Balbir Singh Sodhi was the first Sikh killed after the 9/11 attacks.
Yeah, and people when they go nuts, you know, which we did in Vietnam.
They're talking about culture for a while.
See along the way that it's just.
But you can't know. You don't know much when you're young. You know. I mean, I meet young people today. I can't believe how stupid they are. But then when I look back up on my own record, I make them look intelligent. I was so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, you had your rich dad, and that you kind of look up to.
And that's why I understand. That's why when I talk about YouTube, I listen to both sides. There are hardcore communist school teachers. The school teachers teaching communism. I mean, not Marxism, communism in our schools. This guy even looks like Marx. Holy, it takes. I think
this is more. I honestly believe this person a little bit of Robert political.
Yeah. But the reason, like I said to young people, you're given the most powerful tool ever given to any generation. It's called that iPhone. Everybody want to call it.
He's got. I mean,
but you have to be careful how you use it.
Respect the man's feelings.
Careful who you listen to. That's all there is. I mean, you can use it to get really rich, or you can use it to get really stupid.
I mean, I think it's harder for millennials now to build wealth or kind of have any sort of financial freedom than previous generations. Correct me if I'm wrong, because previous generations get Social Security, get pensions, get all these things that you would. All the people would come and spoon feed you in retirement, versus now millennials are told, hey, if you want to retire wealthy, just invest in 401k. And so, I mean, a lot of people are working towards a quote-unquote retirement. Now, whether that's right or wrong, at the end of the day, everyone's working towards some sort of financial freedom.
Yeah, but the point here is freedom is your freedom of choice. And if you think freedom's a 401k, then I'll pray for you. Because I know the history of it. 1974, the ERISA Act was passed. ERISA
Making me laugh now.
Worked into a 401k.
Oh my God, I wish I'm like still not financially
up until 1974, it was illegal for Americans to own gold.
But we're getting close.
And you were buying gold then, weren't you? Behind any lines? Or
I need the same thing that happened after that.
I smuggled that South African gold Kruger in. I still have that Kruger in. I paid $50 for it. Today it's worth $2,000.
Wow. How do you smuggle
it? I can make
it
happen.
No, I mean, you know, customs guys aren't the brightest. They're looking for drugs. They're looking for gold.
So should more and more young people be going out and buying gold then as their retirement plan?
No, I save gold. I don't save dollars. I borrow dollars. I completely fucked up. I'm a capitalist. That's why I listen to Dave Ramsey, who's a good friend of mine. Live debt free. I go, why are my friends all billionaires and they're deeply in debt? Think about that. But you have to be very smart to borrow $1 million.
I think a lot of young people would disagree. Young people who are drowning in student loan debt who are trying to.
Because they're stupid and get in debt.
It's a different type of debt. It's a different type of debt, and that's why you just said because they're stupid. So I've watched this a few times already. And what I've learned here is that basically when you sign into debt for whatever reasons, and I've learned this differently through cryptocurrency. I've learned this differently through cryptocurrency. When I sign a smart contract in crypto and I'm taking out a loan, I don't have to, like at the bank, if I want to go take out a loan for $4,000 or whatever the fuck amount of money, $200, whatever. They want to check my ID. They want to make sure I have so much money invested with them. They want to make sure I have a job. They want to do all this shit other than take my actual collateral. If it's a watch, if it's money, whatever. They don't want they want more than that for whatever reason. In crypto, they want the collateral. Period. You give them your collateral, you get the loan. So I take my loan, I go out and I do my shit. And hold on, let me see.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's the college.
The student loan thing, and the thing that you like learn within it is it like when you get to decide what type of loan that you want to take out. they have numbers attached to it, and I feel like I don't know, like whenever I like thought about it as like when I was younger and stuff like that, in like terms of like traditional finance, I never like thought of like just like straight up like 20 down to 0, like it's like a scale, like, and 20 is like the highest like percent per year that they would actually pay me for taking out that loan, or that I would have to pay for taking out that loan, so it could work against me or it could work for me for taking out that loan, and then down to 0, where it's just like neutral. But that exists, and like in crypto, it's like super visual to you, and everything is like super transparent, and you can see that like right away. And it's like, damn, okay, I can see that if I do this one, they'll actually pay me for borrowing $400. They'll pay me every day that I have this $400 withdrawn from them. And like, funny thing is, when you I don't want to ruin shit, but like if you've watched the Squid Game, the old man in the Squid Game does this is exactly how he says he makes his fortune in the Squid Game, is by borrowing and lending. And it's the fact that when he borrows out, when he lends out his money, he'll make money off of it every single day that he has to lend it out, and people have to pay him his money back, and so he's gonna make his money back. And when he borrows his money in a way that he's making money every single day that he has his money borrowed out. And while he's borrowed his money out, like Robert Kiyosaki here is talking about, he's figured out another way that it is tax-free. So he's borrowed this money off. Now he's got a whole bunch of money that's tax-free. He can buy other shit with it. And it's just like he creates this crazy money cycle where he can just get crazy rich. And that's what the guy in Squid Game was actually talking about. And that's like, it's some crazy ass shit. When I saw it, I was like, bro, as a crypto dude, bro, I was like, that's so funny that he said the borrowing and lending is how he made his money, because it's one of the wealthiest ways to get wealthy in crypto. When you look at what's Mark Cuban investing his, Mark Cuban, one of the wealthiest American billionaires, what's he investing his money in crypto in? Borrowing and lending, OHM. Or what's the letters for it? HMS, OHM. I think it's OHM. Olympus Dow. It's Olympus Dow, bro. Whatever. The letters for Olympus Dow are I think it's OHM. It's on Ethereum, and I haven't been fucking with Ethereum tokens in a while. I fuck with the Avalanche versions of it and everything. But that's where he's making his money at as a fucking billionaire. Where did the billionaire choose to move his money? It's so funny. The Squid Game mentioned the exact same practitioner.
You've been set up. Student loan debt is the worst. I wouldn't touch that crap. Like I wouldn't touch a 401k. Now, if you don't know the difference between a piece of dog shit and a 401k or a student loan, that's your problem.
So the best cash flow, I mean, would you agree is real
And
estate?
Squid Game, hold on, this is the crazy thing. Squid Game was made years before this, though. That was made years ago. This was made in like 2016 or something like that. Yeah, so like, and that's just like another thing. Like what put me on was like Wolf of Wall Street, and I was like, whoa, that's some other shit. People were doing this type of shit. Like, hold up, there's more to know. I don't know everything. Hold up, I thought I understood things. I don't think I don't understand anything. I just understood that I watched that movie and I understood that I understood nothing. That was it. I was like, no, I need to know more because I don't know anything. But Jesus.
I don't even need real estate. I use debt. I'm just looking for an excuse for somebody to give me a loan.
So you go out and borrow money, but then do what with it? I mean, where do you buy it?
I have to create money from the money. Look, when I found this gold mine in China, they gave it to me for free. Because it was just the transition when they were shifting to capitalism and any communist project that wasn't making money. So we were shopping in China. Everything was on sale. This is 1889. The Berlin Wall fell and all that stuff was falling. So we found this gold mine in Dalian, China. They said, all you have to do is take it public, raise the capital. So we took it public on the Toronto Stock Exchange, the TSE. We did all the assays, did all the hard work, and today they're SPACs. IPOs are different than SPACs. There's all this goofy stuff going on today, which makes it you gotta be twice as smart as a young person today. So we raised $27 million on the Toronto Stock Exchange. We found gold, and the Chinese said, thank you very much.
I'm gonna finish this part.
Took it away from you?
Yes.
Did you get anything back?
Of course not.
This contradicted each other. I think artists might have to go to social media because the way social media is designed, it pulls you into a rabbit hole. Once Facebook or Instagram or whatever, they see that you start liking something, they show you more and more and more and more of that. Where anytime you see something different.
I like this part that Robert goes on right here. I totally 100% co-sign with this. This portion he's about to go on. I think this is the portion he's about to go on about finding like different opinions than yourself. Like I love. My phone is lit with like right wing and left wing opinion shit specifically. I don't want any fucking. I'm not trying to get stuck into like the. And I have different browsers specifically to each one and stuff like that, where I'm like, this one only goes for that because I'm not trying to get stuck or get the middle or whatever the fuck. Some of them can be in the middle, but otherwise you really get fucked up. And they'll only feed you certain information, or just be like, it becomes not that you can't find it, but it becomes that much harder. It's not going to be the first few articles or few links or a few videos. It's going to be like 6 down or something like that, and then you start getting a trickle of different ones. And it just makes it that much more difficult. Not that it's not there, it's just that much more, and a lot of people don't like to do that extra research, that extra step. It's whatever is, you can click on, by the time you like go through like 7 things, you probably found something that's pretty interesting to you. You know what I'm saying? So you can click on one of those. You might go back up. What did I see that I liked? Now you've seen that thing that you liked twice. That much more likely to click it.
You get angry. And I think that
that's very, very astute.
As a marketer, you're that much more likely to click it. Seriously.
Because it's hitting some value system or culture.
Woof, I hope you scroll back by it again. I might get a buy soon. That's what I'm thinking as an advertiser.
When I was in Istanbul, I realized I didn't know. We were taught that Muslims were infidels.
Wall Street for sure opened my eyes to actual
finance,
money, but
radicalized
seriously, bro, it's actually a good movie for that. Like, it's entertaining, but it actually opens your fucking eyes.
People get scared
I swear, bro.
Of what they don't know. I mean, I'll tell you, if I walk on a plane,
I wanted to see more finance movies.
I'm here to do this interview. People just kind of move in, and it's like,
well, that's why I give you credit, man, wearing that outfit. You don't find me walking around in a kimono.
I'm like, show that to a homie that don't care about
so I'm
shit.
speaking to you today,
Like,
not because
going
I'm out of my
money
ass,
tonight, bro.
but because that's what we're taught to do at military school. I didn't go to Snowflake
Show
University.
it to a hustler.
And I wasn't taught, there's trigger events, you hurt my feelings. Oh, fuck you. Get your feelings right. That's why I give you credit. You wear that outfit of yours. I give you so much freaking credit because I don't have that courage, man.
Also to represent a legacy. I mean, I know the struggle of my
it's our
grandparents.
culture.
My grandparents almost fought for their lives.
Yes.
When the government lied to them.
Yes.
My parents almost lost their lives when our homestay was bombed in the 80s.
Yes.
And then my dad came to this country with nothing, worked his butt off, got fired because of the way he looked.
Yes.
And so it's to represent where you come from.
Okay. Culture shit. They getting that for a while.
Depends on the point of view.
That's pretty much this conversation. I like Elio Crypto. This will send. I wanted to know what he thinks is going to send Crypto Parabolic, but I also wanted to play before this. So I'm going to get the Elio Crypto. That's no big to leave old boy out. Sorry, Elio. You all right, bro? Pomp, and where the fuck is this dude at? This dude. This is a smart ass dude. Hold up, dude.
So I think I have to emphasize,
does he have a specific
how all
segment
these
with this
crypto protocols
guy?
actually connect to real life or real dividends or real yields.
Let's just start one with, you've got a very unique multidisciplinary background. Maybe walk us through, when somebody says to you, what the hell do you do all day? How do you answer? Like, what is the way that you evaluate both the disciplines and kind of experience and skill sets, but also your personal interest?
I just try to understand human nature. It's pretty...
So I'm gonna let you. So first, we're gonna play this part. What does this guy do? So like, you just get an understanding of what this guy does. Not that matters, but it's nice to like have. I feel like, I don't know. I'm the type of person where your degree doesn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? A degree doesn't matter to me. That type of shit. It don't matter to me. What do you actually know? What do you actually do? How can you actually perform? That's what matters. And so that don't really matter to me. But he's gonna tell you how he performs, what he does, etc. like that.
I've been doing this thing called evolutionary psychology for about 30 years, and so I'm a psychology professor at the University of New Mexico, and my research is pretty broad. I have like a limited attention span, so I like to work on topics for a few years at a time. And so I've worked on a variety of stuff like human sexuality and mate choice and how we fall in love and how we choose our partners. I've worked a bit on individual differences like behavior genetics and intelligence and personality traits. Done a bit on consumer behavior. And after 30 years of kind of studying human decision making, I finally got into crypto about a year ago, and that's my new passion. We'll see how long it lasts.
What is so interesting to you about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Like, there's so much stuff that you do that I find fascinating. Everything from what I would consider like traditional research just around human decision making, behavioral economics, and that stuff, to even more of the like what some people would consider more controversial stuff, and viewing, hey, we live in this mad, crazy, insane world. But cryptocurrencies, like, why is that the thing that now you're so interested in?
I can sort of look at the crypto space wearing a number of different hats. So one hat is just, as a behavioral scientist, what's going on with crypto? It's an exciting movement. It's also psychologically really confusing, and there's a lot of aspects of crypto that are extremely counterintuitive. Like, how do people think about value and networks and security and decentralization, and how do these protocols actually work? What's the kind of underlying game theory of how do you get consensus mechanisms that are resistant to attack? So there's kind of this like psychology of how people understand crypto. Another hat is just as an individual investor, how do you face the very, very steep learning curve of trying to understand what the hell is this industry? How does it function?
Okay, I want to stop him right there. So as an investor, there's a very steep learning curve to cryptocurrency, right? How do you understand it as an investor? I think for me, and it's taken my partner that much longer to figure it out because for him, I think for him, honestly, DeFi and stuff like that is going to be the answer, but he has to get a little bit more engaged with it because he understands the concepts that I bring up to him, but he didn't know that they existed. They didn't exist before. But to me, it was the social media aspect of it, the fact that you could do things consensus, basically based algorithms, so consensus-based engagement to fulfill some type of smart contract, some type of payment system. And so basically 10 likes, people have often said, oh, if I got 10 cents for every like on a post or something like that, or if I made 10 cents for every social media post I made, you could actually do that now. That actually exists. The technology actually exists. It's existed for years now. Most people who don't know, you can actually make about 10 cents per social media post that you make pretty easily. Pretty easily. You could be doing that right now. Most people don't take advantage of it. But it's, for me, that was like the intro, because like I'm a digital marketer, social media digital guy, and I was like, oh shit, if there's a way to make money off of social media and earn some type of digital currency, I can probably do well at that. And it's writing and stuff like that, I can do well at that. And so I started making my money that way. But that was the connector for me. And what this guy is basically saying is, people need that way for them to connect. And again, I was just saying my partner's probably, my business partner, his is probably more the finance side of things. Mine was more the social media part of things. The social media, the part of things, the engagement, crowd-based part of things came first. Generating people to the organism, I guess. Before that, there was the more radical side of things that actually generated things, which was people feeling like they could change the status quo and revolutionize, these revolutionaries, the people that were like, thinking, oh, it's more hidden than it is, but that's, it's more of a revolutionary type of sense. And then came the crowd era, and then comes the financial era, and then comes the art era, the Renaissance era, and then what comes after Renaissance era? Industrial era, honestly, in terms of things. And what's that going to look like in cryptocurrency? I don't know. But let me let him talk some more.
How do you distinguish, a good solid project from a shitty meme coin? How do you kind of work your way into the industry without, getting wrecked and losing everything? And then a third hat is just at a kind of social and
is it industrial?
What's going on?
Am I missing an area? Fuck it.
Traditional finance and vested interests, and what are the full kind of cultural and political implications? So all three of those are absolutely fascinating to me, and I love getting kind of red-pilled by new, human phenomena. And I think crypto, no matter what you think of it as a movement or as a sort of investment domain, is absolutely fascinating if you have any interest in the nature of technology.
So let's start with the third one first. This idea of challenging the establishment, challenging the incumbents, whether they're just financial firms or something much bigger. How do you think about evaluating the current new technologies that we have versus that old legacy world?
The funny thing about the old legacy world, the way that fiat currency works, the way that banking works, is it's really hard to understand the legacy world until you understand crypto, right? Because you just take the legacy finance world for granted. You just kind of think that's the state of nature, obviously.
Bro, I cannot play this part enough. It's within the first 3 minutes of this. I really do. I need to clip this. The part where he says this literally set me on fire.
So all three of those are absolutely fascinating to me. And I love getting kind of red-pilled by new, human phenomena. And I think crypto, no matter what you think of it as a movement or as a sort of investment domain, is absolutely fascinating if you have any interest in human nature of technology.
So let's start with the third one first. This idea of challenging the establishment, challenging the incumbents, whether they're just financial firms or something much bigger. How do you think about evaluating the current new technologies that we have versus that old legacy world?
335.
The funny thing about the old legacy world, the way that fiat currency works, the way that banking works, is it's really hard to understand the legacy world until you understand crypto, right? Because you just take the legacy finance world for granted. You just kind of think that's the state of nature. Obviously, that's how old legacy world, the way that fiat currency works, the way that banking works, is it's really hard to understand the legacy world until you understand crypto, right? Because you just take the legacy finance world for granted. You just kind of think that's the state of nature. The funny thing about the old legacy world, the way that fiat currency works, the way that banking works, is it's really hard to understand the legacy world until you understand crypto, right? Because you just take the legacy finance world for granted. You just kind of think that's the state of nature. Obviously, that's how capitalism and finance and money and
Bam. This is the golden goose. What he said right here is worth all of his research that he's done across however fucking many years that he did it. And he started off with that sentence. And that's probably why he started off with that sentence. That's the golden goose. That's the golden goose. Once you actually experience any other monetary system that actually works upon that same, bro, I don't. All you're doing is learning our monetary system. That's all cryptocurrency is. It's just learning what the actual monetary system is via different words. You're learning our current monetary system via different words. But it's put in a way that man, aka different country, different individuals, their individual personal inputs and decisions that might tweak things, like, oh, I don't like Bill, and so I'm a tariff Bill, and that's gonna sway things a little bit in our favor. Ha ha ha. You like that, right, Jill, who's in charge of whatever other country? That's the way the fucking world actually works. Cryptocurrency takes that shit out of the equation. Mathematics control that. Certain laws that are written into the code control that. And so, if nothing else, it makes it transparent to everybody. And everybody can eventually figure that out and see it. And everybody can see it from the get-go. And there's no more veils and stuff like that. There's a lot of veils. Even in trading and stuff like that, currently we have black pools, places where certain businesses can trade and stuff like that of a certain level. And you can't see their trades and stuff like that. This gets rid of that type of shit. And this is new. And once you see that that's actually happening, and how it equals the playing field, dude, then you start to question, you go back to the other system, you start to actually do research on the other system, you start to look at all the other things in the other system, and you start to question the other system, and you're like, which one's better? And you obviously have to work within the other system. The other system is what you live in. You live in the matrix. At that point, that's why people use the matrix memes for fucking Bitcoin and stuff, and it's fucking funny. But yeah, you live in the fucking matrix, and so you obviously have to work within the matrix. But yeah, you unplug.
Conventions should work because there's no contrast, there's no alternative. Once you get a serious contrast, a sort of alternative system, then you can start to kind of pick apart the legacy system and understand, oh my gosh, here's banking, here's why Wall Street and banking have certain kinds of lobbying, here's why they have certain kinds of political influence, and here's why it's oppressive and kind of constraining people. So I kind of felt like crypto blew my mind about that because, I've worked in an economics department for 4 years at University College London, surrounded by people who believe real economics work, and in a way they kind of know less about the existing finance system than even kind of crypto newbies who've just read a little bit, Bitcoin Standard, or watched your show for a few hours.
That's the funniest part. That's funny.
Because they're incentivized not to understand?
So I kind of felt like crypto blew my mind about that because, I've worked in an economics department for 4 years at University College London, surrounded by people who believe real economics work, and in a way they kind of know less about the existing finance system than even kind of crypto newbies who've just read a little bit, Bitcoin. So I kind of felt like crypto blew my mind about that because, I've worked in an economics department for 4 years at University College London, surrounded by people who believe real economics work, and in a way they kind of know less about the existing finance system than even kind of crypto newbies.
Or it just hasn't been explained that way. It just hasn't been explained that way.
So when you think about that,
because it's
is it because they are
it's something wrong with the education system?
Then, whether you're sitting in an elected official position or in an appointed position, let's just call them kind of the academics and theorists, if you will, rather than the market participants. Is it you're disincentivized from learning? Is it you don't need to, so you're almost complacent, or do you actually understand and you're better off not letting on the fact that you understand, because that would then the game would be up, if you will?
I think it's mostly just you're surrounded by groupthink, you're surrounded by like-minded people who've all taken the same, 200-level macroeconomics courses that say this is how money should work, this is how you should manipulate the money supply in order to deal with financial crises or promote growth or manage unemployment.
It's wild.
And if you get, A's in macroeconomics,
actually
and then
wild.
You a finance person or a banker or an economist, you figure, well, I got the seal of approval from traditional econ, I must know what I'm talking about.
Fucking wild.
The same way. So stepping outside of that is very difficult because you're subject to immense professional pressures to kind of conform to that worldview. If you start talking about alternatives, everybody thinks you're kind of crazy, and also you've got heavy professional disincentives not to make noise about that because, it'll limit your career options. For example, if you're an economist who wants to advise governments about things, you kind of have to buy into
limit your career options. Dude, you know how many, I'll be tweeting it all day. Bro, people be like, are you crazy? Oh, you like cryptocurrency? Get the fuck out of my stream. You like NFTs? Get the fuck out of my stream. This and that, blah, 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 blah. This is when Bitcoin was at $2,000. $30,000 or 30x from there. 30x. You still get the same shit. What he's talking about with this you cause strife. You're going against the status quo. You're not gonna be liked. It's hard. Because you're not trying to bring anybody down. You're like, dude, Literally just trying to, I don't know, spread good. Education.
IMF, fiat worldview hypothesis.
When you start to look at the behavioral economics of all of this, there's a lot of talk of game theory, right? Of kind of Bitcoin is inevitable. People have to adopt it at some point. And I think when people were saying that in 2010, 2011, 2012, that was like a pipe dream. And even the people that were involved then were like, yeah, I mean, we kind of believed it, but that was kind of a crazy idea. Now it seems to be playing out. We've got individuals in. Now we
And
got
like not even like in a zealot way. Like I understand, like yes, you still need fiat currencies. Other assets should still exist. Other technologies should still exist. But, you know, if I saw a flying saucer dip down into my community, destroy a building and land, I would have to accept that that's real. I have to accept that everything that it's done is real. I'd be like, all right, you know, it's doing some stuff. So I don't know. That's how I feel about crypto. Like, yeah, it's like a new technology, and it's kind of like when people first saw planes flying and stuff like that, and they're like, planes are real, bro. Planes are real. It's not sorcery. That is a plane. New technology. People felt the exact same way about the internet. Honestly, you can look up articles about people calling like the internet like satanic and whatever the fuck. People just feel that way when like new technology comes out.
financial institutions, we're starting to see some public corporations. We have one nation state that's made legal tender and really started to kind of embrace it. Is this using history as like a guide? Of course this was going to happen. Of course this is like the natural progression of something. Or are you surprised by this given kind of the mental models and experience that you have as these disciplines?
The game theory here is really complicated. So there's kind of one level of game theory, which is at the protocol or consensus level. How do you keep any given protocol, like Bitcoin or Ethereum or Cardano, resistant to specific kinds of attacks? But then there's a larger kind of political game theory, which is how do you get enough buy-in from existing power structures, including regulators and nation states, so that they can't mess it up. So that, for example, enough politicians are personally invested in Bitcoin or have family wealth in Bitcoin that they no longer have the personal or political incentives to attack it really hard. As far as I can tell, there's a lot more game theory applied to kind of how do we keep Bitcoin safe from the 51% attack than there is game theory applied to that larger political issue, or the issue of like the sort of intergenerational thing of how do you convince rich boomers to actually invest in crypto rather than just young people who don't have any money or middle-aged guys like me who have like a little bit of money and a little bit of understanding. So when you're doing game theory and you're thinking how do we make this crypto protocol resistant to attack, the attacks can come from many, many levels. It could be political regulation. It could be a kind of cultural level attack. Like if crypto somehow got associated with certain taboo beliefs, right? If it was smeared by association with certain unacceptable cultural associations, then nobody would want to own crypto because the social costs would be too high.
Like drugs. Like prostitution or hiring hitmen. These are things that they've previously associated crypto with. And like I think Janet Yellen was previously trying to say that, like, or they were like money laundering. They'll say that too. I don't know. These are probably. Do I have this up as a YouTube video? That's probably gonna ruin the video. You can't say certain words on YouTube. Same thing for Facebook. They like mark stuff. But yeah. And it's like, what about the United States dollar, which is the most widely accepted currency in the world? Isn't it used for all those things that much more? Well, yeah, but we're not going to mention that. We got to look past that, and we got to look for anybody else down the line. Okay. All right, but you can find people easier with this new method, right? Wouldn't that be better for you? Don't make sense to me.
Like a little bit of money and a little bit of understanding. So when you're doing game theory and you're thinking, how do we make this crypto protocol resistant to attack? The attacks can come from many, many levels. It could be political regulation. It could be a kind of cultural level attack. Like if crypto somehow got associated with certain taboo beliefs, right? If it was smeared by association with certain unacceptable cultural associations, then nobody would want to own crypto because the social costs would be too high. So when you think about the game theory, you have to be very inclusive in
Like,
thinking.
and the thing with crypto is like you can put your money through something eventually in crypto that will wash that money, basically, right? But you can do that in traditional finance too. Eventually, you can put your money through something. You have to be quick enough, right? You have to know what the fuck you're doing, and then you wash the fuck. That's what people do when they wash money, right? I don't know the fuck they do it, but that's what they do. And like same thing in crypto though. Like eventually, you can move your money, like however much you might. Like people can be following your wallet, like whatever that wallet was that like stole the money from the protocol or hacked something. That's what we do. We're like, wow, that person hacked that account, or they hacked that protocol, and everybody's watching that account, and they're trying to freeze that account. We're trying to freeze that thing so they can't do any more damage. And then eventually, like, hopefully they freeze it before it gets to, like, a major exchange and tries to cash out or something like that. But if they don't catch it in time, maybe it's able to use some type of, like, anonymous crypto or some type of anonymous spending thing or whatever the fuck, or I don't know, whatever method they find that makes it harder to track, and they're able to, like, funnel some portion or all of it out. And yeah, that's the difficulty. But same thing exists in the traditional world, and has been practiced for that much longer. So people have many more ways of doing it. Honestly,
what are all the possible?
That's what he's about to say. All I'm trying to do is, like, say the things before he says them, and in a different way.
There's an attack that messes with
When you think about, let's take the oldest Americans, the people who have the most capital, kind of that boomer generation, what would be your way to get them into this, and get them familiar with it, and get them to adopt? Like, what is the game theoretical way to say, okay, let's get the people who have the most money or have the most experience, let's convince them that this is the future?
I think that's like literally the $10 trillion question, because the amount of assets that people over 60 have is.
Get the Americans, the people who have the most capital, kind of that boomer generation. What would be your way to get them into this, get them familiar with it, and get them to adopt? Like, what is the game theoretical way to say, okay, let's get the people who have the most money or have the most experience, let's convince them that this is the future?
I think that's like literally the $10 trillion question, because the amount of assets that people over 60 have is vast. It's enormous. And if they started allocating even 5 or 10% into crypto, it would be an absolute game changer, and it would kind of lock in crypto financially and politically in a big way. Wild. I think old people tend to be avoidant of novelty and avoidant of risk. So the big things you have to overcome are crypto is really, really confusing and counterintuitive at a psychological level. I've worked in a number of different fields, and I've learned about a lot of new fields in my sort of career as a researcher. And what I've noticed is, if you're like new to an academic field, the fields that are easiest to learn about are those that have taken pains to reach out and write like popular, accessible books that are kind of pitched at a medium level of understanding. And I think that's what's missing in crypto. What you have on the one hand is a lot of populist outreach, where like it's easy to watch YouTube videos by crypto YouTubers, kind of doing a surface level, analysis of like, here's this new token, and here's the technical analysis of it, and you should buy it. And on the other hand, there's the incredibly deep technical details, like read this white paper, learn how to run a node, figure out exactly how the consensus protocol.
That's the trouble.
That's really hard. What you're missing is the kind of middle ground, where you have sort of books or blogs or videos that explain things in a pretty serious but pretty accessible way to reasonably smart boomers who have vast amounts of money, but they're not going to invest in something just because some 25-year-old YouTuber says it's good. So I think that's what's missing. We need a lot more material at that kind of medium level of like, it's serious and it's accurate, but it's accessible to people who didn't do PhDs in computer science.
So when you start to think about that group getting in, those are also the same people that end up
more and more
controlling a lot of the
businesses
wealth,
are
financial
starting to work
institutions,
on that
pension
type
funds, endowments,
of stuff, like trying to
foundations,
make
like the whole institutional asset
easier
management
and
world, all the way up to sovereign wealth
easier.
funds. Is it thought process that once you start to kind of red pill or orange pill, the boomer generation, then all of a sudden all those institutions, they start to go kind of all in on this industry because they do it first personally and then they move their institutional assets?
Yeah, I think if you orange pilled a significant percentage of boomers, and they started going to their financial advisors and their pension funds, and if they have a family office, if they have significant wealth, if the family offices start talking to banks, and they go, why can't we get exposure to this industry? Come on, you've got a fiduciary duty to allow us to invest in it. Why aren't we doing that? I think that's when the existing finance industry has to start taking this seriously. If you've got a bunch of 30-year-olds sort of writing emails to the bank saying, I'm frustrated that you guys are making it hard to invest in crypto, banks don't care. If you've got a bunch of boomers calling up their kind of financial advisors going, why don't you know anything about this? You have a professional duty to learn more. That's an enormous source of leverage, because it's not just in the financial interest of the financial advisors to learn about it. It appeals to their kind of professional ethos. I really should respond to my clients, these orange pill boomers, and learn about this stuff. I think that's one possible path to serious mass adoption and kind of integration of legacy finance.
When you start to look at the legacy system, you had this great tweet at one point around fiat currency.
Give him a few more minutes, and we'll move on.
Intergenerational Ponzi scheme. Your great-grandkids won't thank you for buying into it. Explain this more.
Well, I try to take a very long-termist perspective. I'm from a path to serious mass adoption and kind of integration of.
When you start to look at the legacy system, you had this great tweet at one point around fiat currency. It just makes me laugh when I read it. You said fiat currency is the intergenerational Ponzi scheme. Your great-grandkids won't thank you for buying into it. Explain this more.
So by fiat currency, I just, in case, I don't know who's listening to this and what point they're listening to this at, fiat currency just means United States dollars, or if it was peso, Mexican dollars, pesos, or Filipino dollars, pesos, or whatever. It's your paper currency. Paper currency is known as fiat. What is the definition of fiat? Hold on one second. Give me a second. Fiat, meaning in Latin, let it be done. Yeah. Or let there be light. And so in one sense, the idea is that fiat means light currency. Lighter gold, which is what it was once attached to, which was what it's supposed to be attached to. People, when you created fiat currency, as we last saw it, like United States dollars, since and before, you try to attach it to some type of real world asset, whether that's pelts or slaves or something, or women, or like a house. You try to attach it to some like a thing that's like, obviously we're going like way far back or something like that. And more recent, it's like it's gold, but they attach it to some type of like whatever the fuck that society values. And most recently, we detached it from, after hundreds of years, from like, oh, you know, if anything, gold or oil, or there's tons of assets, natural gas we can do, or energy as a, you'd have to measure like watts or something like that, and probably have like consensus on watts, but that'd be an interesting one. But we detached it from gold, and it's created chaos. It's created chaos, and that's why honestly everything is in the situation that it's in currently. The value of a currency has always been attached to something more tangible asset, I guess, for its stability, and ours is not.
Well, I try to take a very long-termist perspective. You know, I'm pro-natalist. I think about future generations. I'm concerned about the long.
You know, I always say not financial advisor. I can't offer financial advice. I'm not a professional or anything like that. I'm just a dude listening to this shit. And, I mean, he seems to agree.
Term viability of civilization. I'm interested in kind of existential risks to humanity and civilization. So I'm always thinking, how will this play out in future generations? I'm interested in perspective. You know, I'm pro-natalist. I think about future generations. I'm concerned about the long-term viability of civilization. I'm interested in kind of existential risks to humanity and civilization. So I'm always thinking, how will this play out in future generations? And even young people kind of understand, if I have kids and grandkids, I will love them and I will care about them and I will become more interested in their future. But somehow that future orientation, that long-termism, doesn't really translate that well into a lot of...
Oh, for sure, yeah. Hit up our Discord if you're interested in kicking it with Money Match Gaming and stuff.
So when I do these tweets, I'm kind of trying to nudge people to think about, how can I connect my family's
asking questions, hit me up.
To, you know,
I'll
how
be
I spend my time
around.
learning about new topics. And I think, you know, every dad, every mom, every grandparent has a kind of duty to family legacy to get serious in terms of learning about the opposite.
Another piece of this that I feel like is tangentially related is we obviously the fiat currencies are being devalued. That ends up leading to this whole debt and monetization of the debt, and kind of back our central bankers and politicians into a corner. They have no other choice other than to go ahead and continue to do this. So that brings up the question how they fund it. And it always feels good to say, well, we're going to take money from rich people, right?
Or
And specifically
DM
around
me
this
on
idea of unrealized capital gains.
Facebook.
You have a tweet that says unrealized
I
capital
work
gains.
too.
One, they aren't gains, and two, are another government's business. I
Yeah,
tend to agree
let's
with you, but
connect.
walk me through how you
I'll
evaluate
hit you up.
kind of that
Give me
entire
that
conversation.
link.
And like, it feels almost like, of course, we should expect them to have the conversation.
I'll
But
at
my
least
general view is that
connect.
it's never going to actually be implemented, you know, at least in the current form that they're talking about.
There's a couple of key problems here. One is just innumeracy. People don't understand numbers, and they don't understand like how much wealth rich people have, which is vast, but it's not vast enough to cover federal spending for very long. Okay, so there's just a failure of what's called scope sensitivity, understanding the relative scope of like billions versus trillions versus tens of trillions. So people are just delusional in thinking that like, you know, Elon Musk could just allocate a tiny percentage of his income and like solve world hunger. Like that's not how the math works. So you know, the failure of public schools to teach numeracy is one issue. Is versus trillions versus tens of trillions.
This
So
is the
okay,
people.
so there's
This
just a
is the
failure
issue with people hating billionaires and shit like that.
Rich people have.
One
which
of the
is vast,
issues.
but it's not vast enough to cover federal spending for very
Other
long.
than that, like thing that I was talking about earlier with inflation and just like years and like it working out mathematically that there's going to be billionaires eventually, and that it does make sense.
Okay, so there's just a failure of what's called scope sensitivity, understanding the relative scope of like billions, where people don't understand numbers and they don't understand like how much wealth rich people have, which is vast, but it's not vast enough to cover federal spending for very long. Okay, so there's just a failure of what's called scope sensitivity, understanding the relative scope of like billions versus trillions versus tens of trillions. So people are just delusional in thinking that like, you know, Elon Musk could just allocate a tiny percentage of his income and like solve world hunger. Right? That's not how the math works. So you know, the failure of public schools to teach numeracy is one issue. There's also just kind of economic vengefulness and
That sounds a little harsh. It's actually true when you do the math. Have seen multiple people do it as math. I've done the math myself. After seeing the people do it as math and doing the research that I can and grabbing those numbers. This is actually a fact. From what I have gathered, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like that's not really possible for them to just pay off that debt. The rich people can't just do it.
and bitterness and resentment, where like some people are very rich and I'm not, and so I want to take them down. And there's a deep-seated kind of primal human nature aspect to this that, you know, when you
Well, at least not with like our current like system where they have to pay certain taxes. Like, how is that going to be possible? I don't think that's possible. Could be wrong. I don't think so. I think he's probably right. I think I'm probably right. I think the other people are probably right. I think the math probably just works out.
live in little clans, if there's like some domineering narcissistic alpha male, everybody wants to get together and kind of take them down. right, and reduce their arrogance. And that plays out to
This is
varying-
what you
and
be
there's a-
seeing.
there's a
This is
kind
the
of
garden
economic
party
benchmark,
situation that I was talking
but that's
about.
not how the math works. So, the failure of public schools to teach numeracy is one issue. There's also just kind of economic vengefulness and bitterness and resentment, where like some people are very rich and I'm not, and so I want to take them down. And there's a deep-seated kind of primal human nature aspect.
Oh my God. Y'all, did I have the garden party situation from the Boondocks? Is that what happened to me? Where he just gets up on stage and he says Ronald Reagan was the devil and everybody claps? Yo. Can I talk to Regina King? That's special. Am I John Malkovich? No, that's funny as fuck. Like, that's funny as fuck though, because now I'm like actually like. Can you hear that? Let me give you some ASMR. That's my head. Because that's actually funny.
You know, when you live in little clans, if there's like some domineering, narcissistic alpha male, everybody wants to get together and kind of take them down, right, and reduce their arrogance. And that plays out politically in kind of politics of economic resentment. But it just doesn't work practically. You can't tax the rich enough to actually pay for the entire welfare state of the sort that like certain political parties are advocating. Math just doesn't work.
When you start to think about the digital world to me is a replication of the analog world, right, for the most part. And when we talk about human behavior, or one of these ideas that you talk a lot about of like evolution.
And that's not to say that you can't tax a certain bracket more. You can certainly tax a certain bracket more people, obviously. But that's not the solution. There needs to be more of a solution than that. Relying on that alone is not enough. Just doing that, especially depending on what that other bracket has done and is figuring out, is not the solution. Period. That's the trouble. That's our current trouble. That's the current dilemma. Like, you can argue it as much as you want, but that's what people are currently facing as the dilemma. That's what I found people to currently be facing as the dilemma, in my opinion. But yeah, that's what seems to be the dilemma. It's like, yeah, well, these people are creating jobs and they're making money for our economy and they're doing this and that, and you feel that way about it, but what?
Evolutionary consumer psychology. Is the digital world different? Like, are people going to act differently, think differently, or kind of execute certain actions differently in the digital world? Or is it actually a carbon copy of what we've seen for thousands and thousands of years of human history is now just going to get carried out in like a digital form?
It's kind of hard to tell, but if I had to bet, I would predict that a lot of our basic human preferences and motivations will stay relatively constant. And then they'll just be manifest in all these new digital ways. For example, we seem to have an unquenchable desire to kind of be attractive and to show off our status and our attractive traits and show off our intelligence, to show off our moral virtues. And I wrote about this in my book, Spend. That translates in the consumer world to predicting kind of what we buy, why we buy it, why we love branded goods, why we associate so closely, certain brands with certain kinds of values and personal attributes. Like, oh, I'm into Apple, so I'm like open-minded and progressive and liberal, whereas those people who are into like Microsoft are more conservative and closed-minded. And the way this will play out, I think, in the digital world, like let's say virtual reality or meta or whatever, is basically like you'll take human instincts for being attractive and showing off. Like 100,000 years, we might have put red ochre iron oxide pigments all over our body and made body ornamentation. Now it'll be buying NFTs and digital avatars to make us look cool in virtual environments. But I think the underlying human motivations and kind of instincts aren't likely to change that much. I could be wrong, but...
Okay. I just thought I'd let this part right here play out just because I thought it was interesting that he agreed with the current NFT status. There's a guy that I could play. If I scroll down this list, there's this guy that I like to listen to sometimes. Carl from the Moon, right? No shots? Carl? Who's that girl you were just hanging out with? Whatever. And then, Carl seemed very sensitive about his NFT. You seem very sensitive about your NFT being a female NFT that looked like you. You needed to make a very specific call that was more rare. I don't know, bro. You good, bro. Man, don't worry about it. We love you. Oh, man. People need to hear that.
Oh yes, inflation is going wild, and it is amazing for Bitcoin. Today we're going to be talking about the macro structure of the market and getting ready for me to give you a juicy list of projects tomorrow. So make sure you're subscribed because tomorrow we drop a fantastic guide through all of the gaming projects I'm invested into and I'm going to invest into. So make sure you guys are tuned in for that. It is the single most important play in my entire conviction for this industry. So make sure you guys are here for that. We're going to let some people filter in. There are thousands of you waiting here for this to begin. 2,400 already in the chat. So big shout out to you guys. This is a fantastic moment, and I had to reflect on essentially the whole market over the last few days and weeks. Because the reality is it has been such an amazing feeling to see the rebound of this market, to have the conviction, have the faith, see it coming back, and then of course see everybody who has been sticking around, who stuck through this bear market, get to enjoy the fruits of that laborious wait. Now the prior bear market,
I need to look at this
and most of
chart.
our dreams and our hopes got completely trampled on. This time people had to wait about 3 months, so I'm very happy about the shorter wait, and that essentially this entire community can be rewarded much faster. There's about 1,000 of you who have not liked the video yet in this chat. We're going to be talking about macro
Crypto
bullish
might have
catalysts
been right about that 58,000 by the time you wake up,
I
though.
believe it's going to set off a chain reaction of events for the entire market, and that of course gives massive opportunities to absolutely everyone. So please like this video.
I can't believe I shouldn't even doubted him.
YouTube viewers.
My boy Target hit was short in the market earlier this morning.
We have so much to cover today. We have so much to cover today.
I was like, this dude is short in the market super early. He's short at the market super early.
Projects in the metaverse industry that we are so excited about. We
started the day on a short.
I wanted to go ahead and make sure you guys are aware of this.
This is wild, dude.
Today. Make sure
I was
that you
like, that don't make sense, man. What are you doing?
Address in the comments, and you can be entered to win this giveaway. So make sure that you go ahead and show some love on this tweet. And then we also have a newsletter here below the video. If you guys want to be made aware whenever my team puts out some newsletter content, we're building out a little bit of a blog style update that'll be easier for people to get the email, just helping the
$400 in the profit now. He just started hitting that profit strong.
Talk about something really serious, which is
I
essentially
don't think he's done.
This bull run is really going to hit another leg because we just had a massive fundamental catalyst, which is let me just get to this first, which is really the biggest issue.
Ethereum target at
price inflation
5,000
in October, matching the largest year-over-year increase on record. So inflation, despite the fact that there is some talks around
one of my favorite.
inflation is very real. And
I'm listening to Elio right now.
Real judge of inflation.
I like this dude as a trader on YouTube. Target hit. He's got 100,000 followers, subscribers.
Inflation is going crazy. And what we really know is that the money supply is getting weaker and weaker. And this is as we just had the approval of over $1 trillion in spending.
He misses calls like anybody, you know. But
is absolutely ridiculously good. Does that
I feel like
mean
his analysis is
that
pretty
Bitcoin will
strong.
jump up in price? No. What we need to understand is that a combination of on-chain metrics, external macro analysis, as well as just downright
the market's going to shake a lot of people out a lot of the time. That's why you got to position your bag the way you got to position your bag.
On-chain metrics analysts like Willy Woo, and specifically my new favorite, or has been my favorite, which is Will Clemente, who really just distill how important the dwindling supply of Bitcoin on exchanges is to the macro bull structure of the market. The less Bitcoin on exchanges, the more Bitcoin into whale wallets or diamond-handed wallets, whatever you want to call them. That is the force that is making this particular moment so powerful. The on-chain story being told just continually gets more and more bullish, and that's what's so exciting here. But it's also worth understanding that this late stage of the bull run might very well be a sort of quick, fast, dirty, big pump with a blow-off top, right? That is something that I want you guys to be aware of, right? Which is, when we look at the charts here, and let's go ahead and show you this. When we look at the charts, it's important that you learn to identify in many ways what the top is, and we'll talk a little bit about this, but what we're talking about here is essentially a macro catalyst for Bitcoin that wants to send it up, and away. Now, here's the thing. If you look at the 2017 bull run, you'll see that it gained incrementally over the course of the bull run. It started here at about $1,000, it moved its way up to 2,000, then 3,000, and then grinded its way up to 4,000, and this was from, really from January all the way through August, September, and then all of a sudden, from, the rate of growth just multiplied, and you see it go from 4,000 up to 8,000 in what feels like just no time, just a couple of weeks, and then it has this big sell-off from 7,000 down to about 5,000, and then you get this 5K candle up to 20K, and it happens just super aggressively. And if you'll notice, it actually happens right about November 11th, which is 2 days from now, which is, we're at that magical late stage of the cycle. So if you start seeing price action that goes from 5K, or in our case, call it 6K, we're at 60K, or 70K, whatever. I'm not gonna try to make the numbers the exact same, it's not working. But if we start seeing like doubling, tripling, quadrupling, if we get to 100K or 150K within just a few weeks, that would be extremely fast, and that would mean to me that we're probably setting up for a massive blow off top, and that the price will become very unstable.
Yes, it will.
It's very natural that essentially you're having a bunch of uneducated buyers.
That's a long ass video, Elio.
It's extremely exciting. So if this does continue until May or June of next year, I mean, the prices that Bitcoin might be at.
Jesus.
If it is the super cycle, you have plenty of times to reinvest and see outgain.
Jesus.
And it actually tested and it touched 10K, it bounced up, and then it came up to 18K. This was this back and forth here.
What coin are you even fucking looking at, bro?
But as Bitcoin effectively ran out of gas, and it was clear it was more or less over here, and then it got rejected here at the 16K mark here. People looked at this and saw this bounce up and rejected here as extremely bearish.
I wanted to check out this. I didn't check out the casino today. So I like Drip. I like Drip as a platform, a DeFi platform. And like, I don't know. I figured it was one of my more risky plays in crypto. I think it might have been one of my more safe plays in crypto, but I'd never invest a whole bunch in anything so that I can continuously invest in things. I try to play by that. Sometimes I fuck up. I'm human. But that's just what I try to do. Oh, Community Gaming has a oh, it's on Ethereum now. Fuck them. I said that right. Oh man. That's how I feel. Oh man. But yeah, we look at Binance. like maybe support you if you weren't on Ethereum. They're probably just starting on Ethereum because you want to start it on it's an ERC20 and they're gonna port it over to Binance, but it takes some time. I'd hope, because that's the route that you want it to go. I think there's something maybe better about doing it that way, or people just like to do it that way. Anyways, let me make sure I'm showing the right thing over here. Nope. Cool. All right, so zoomed in on the drip.network. This is the drip, or excuse me, the Binance Smart Chain STAPS. So major blockchains and cryptocurrencies, right? What are the top cryptocurrencies in the world? Bitcoin, Ethereum, and wow, look at number 3. It's Binance Coin, Binance Smart Chain, most likely because it's the same fucking coin. It's the coin that costs $650. It's the Binance Smart Chain coin, or the BNB coin. So Binance Smart Chain equals this number 3 coin. That's pretty much how you want to think about that. So what are the top applications, businesses, if you would, on the Binance Smart Chain? So when you think about a cryptocurrency, that's a token, really, you can often think about a token as like a business, depending on, or that token has many businesses underneath it even, and those different businesses underneath it propel it. And maybe, yeah, that's just kind of what that is. And so we have PancakeSwap, it's the number 1 token platform underneath it. PancakeSwap is a platform. The token for PancakeSwap is Cake. They used to have Syrup as a token as well. I think it still exists, but whatever. Apparently, Crypto Mines, which I've never fucking heard of, which is a game. Wow, I've never heard of that thing. Apparently, I need to pay attention. I guess I'll check it out. Mobox, NFT Farmer. I do know about Mobox. I do not really play with Mobox, but apparently it is still making people a lot of money. That's interesting to me. It's really interesting. Like, I need to maybe pay more attention to Mobox then, because it's been at the top for a while, and I think it's only climbed. Binary X, another game. I don't know this game either. I feel like oftentimes these games can shoot up into the top 10. But it's also game season, and people are really liking metaverse stuff, so could be what it is. ApeSwap, tried and true of Binance Smart Chain, 1-inch tried and true of many chains. BuySwap partnered with the Tron blockchain, basically for BetFury, the BetFury platform, which had a lot of Bitcoin at one point, and just is a really good dividend platform for people that are interested in casino dividends. CryptoBay, don't know what that is. Maybe that's that one Pirate Bay game. Zoo, this is a cross-chain. Oh, maybe it's not. This is a crypto world game. Games, bro, games just taking off. So we got some games. Got BNB Matrix, is looking at ROI DApp most likely. Metaverse Miner, who knows what the fuck that is. And then this is really wanted to show. I don't know what these ones are. I'm like, this is like a wow. What the hell is that? What the hell is this? I know this one's popular. What is this one? This one, and Binary X, and Crypto Mines. There's like 4. There's like 4 that I'm like unaware of. That like kind of just pooping on my boy's heyday right here, which is Drip, which is the number 13 right now overall application. But that's all that matters. It's on the first page, baby. We're on the first page. Somehow we overshot Venus, which is like, what? I mean, BNB Miner is up here too, though. Wow. What the hell is happening? What is the world right now? I guess people really want that BNB, because what about if BNB goes up even more? And you're making BNB every day. It is what it is. Yeah. My goodness, the world is fucking crazy, bro. I wanted to listen to Ray for a second, bro. See what they got for me over here.
Shout out to the squad out there.
This is Bartertown Conglomerate. Oh my goodness, my camera's all messed up and whatever. Here we go. This is the Bartertown Conglomerate. I took my hat off. Hold up, let me go back over here. You know what I'm saying? I gotta match my boy. Same hat. Let's get it. I'm gonna take it right back off. Whatever. Okay. Anyways, this is the Bartertown conglomerate. I don't know. It's a education. I would say it's an educational channel on upcoming and new high risk, trying to be informative of more low risk and best practice protocols in cryptocurrency and DeFi. Yeah, so they try to teach you best practices. Sometimes they go into projects that are more high risk, because either way, you're at the frontier of things.
Shout out to the crew. Are we good to go on this, man? If everybody hears me good for the one in the chat,
It's gonna be a longer stream. He tries to get a lot of information in. I like this dude.
we are doing airdrops, guys, so we're gonna get a couple of airdrops in. I'm gonna do probably 5 different airdrops, and it's only gonna be people participating in the chat. So today's airdrops is gonna be people participating in the chat. But make sure you're part of the Bartertown Conglomerate Road Warriors team, right? Make sure you're part of Team 2, okay? So that's gonna be specifically for Team 2 members. If maybe I'll do some other airdrops for people not on the team.
This is
We'll
ours.
see what's going on with that. We'll see. If I win, then I'm what you call it? If I win, then we'll do some. Matter of fact, I think even better. If I win, guys, if I win in the casino, profit from that 4,100, everything that I win minus my initial deposit, I'm gonna airdrop to the squad. That's what I'm gonna do, baby. That's how we're doing it, baby. So we're gonna put it all in, 4,000, ready to go, right? Let's keep it around, 4,000, right? So we're gonna put that 4,000 or whatever 152 equals to, right? Because when I withdraw 10%, so I'm gonna put the whole bag in. Whatever I win in profit, that's getting airdropped to the squad. All right. So you wanna hang out, hit the like button. We're gonna go in. All right. That's what we're gonna do today. Okay. And remember, this is the winning.
Oh, I changed the bid.
So we're gonna go to the other one. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do 2-3 things.
My
So,
bro,
yeah,
why can't I never get the bit character?
be lit. We're gonna be lit. Alright, sounds good. Everything's cool here. Let me make sure. And let's get an airdrop out in a few. Let's start with one airdrop. Let's do a quick airdrop. Let's go to team 2. Let's go to team 2 real quick. So guys, to participate in this airdrop, in the chat, put a number from. I'm gonna tell you a random number. Don't just be dropping numbers in there because you're gonna get wrecked. A number from 33 to 50. Go. So 33 to 50.
What is the price of
number
drip
from
today,
33
bro?
to 50, and that's where the airdrop is going to be with. So make sure
We're on our
you put
way
in
up
your number.
to 26.
I think you could put your buddy address in
I'm
there.
happy I got Ray some drip.
That's the thing, man. It's inconvenient because
I'm
I'm
gonna keep getting him some drip.
I don't know if you
I
want
wanna
to put
get
your
Ray
number in that chat,
to
or
my
you could
drip.
DM me, or however you want to do it, you let me know. All right, we're going to make it work that way. So a number
That'd just be
from
nice.
33. We're going to do 33 to.
Like, I feel
It's going to
like
be a
I can
$200
do it over
drip airdrop
time.
right now. 33 to 50.
That's just nice to do.
All right, so let's make sure we're on team 2. Let me make sure I got some drip too. A number from 33 to 50. That's going to be the first airdrop, and then we're going to take a look at, guys. In this video, we're gonna get busy with the casino. We're gonna look at everything. Each game too. We're gonna look at all of them, and then we're gonna take a look at treasure key. So all right, let me go buy some drip. Let me go. Oh, I gotta go.
Did I sell this post fag? Because I probably should not be holding it.
And then it goes from whoever posted it.
Ew,
You're
holding it. Why are you holding it, Smurf? No.
Oh, 45. All right. Let me know if that's too loud, guys. If I have to lower that, let me know it's good. I just want feedback. Give me feedback.
Oh, it was Revo, wasn't it?
So we're gonna go. Let me make sure that I got the airdrop loop.
Kind of like maybe it should be
guys.
Ethereum.
You never know. Maybe we could go 100K today, right? 100K worth of airdrops in one day. Who knows? You guys are gonna win all the profits that I'm gonna get today. Who else is doing that, son? Who else? Who else, baby? You know, it's Bartertown Conglomerate Team, Road Warriors, right? Yo, somebody tell Forex when these team competitions is coming. You might as well start dropping them. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. Yo, we got a bag over here, baby. We ready to go. We ready to go. I'm coming for everybody's neck on that one. All right, let's make sure that we're getting these airdrops. Boom, boom, boom. My bad, guys. Let me just get busy with this.
Insufficient
I
funds.
think it'll be good. You know, just intermediate. You know, like in between different things. I don't know. If you guys want that music, let me know. What's the 45, right? Let's see who got 45. Let's see who got 45. All right, let's go. Let me see. 45. Let's see. 45. 48. Oh, wait. Oh, y'all going in. Wait. Okay. Who got it? Yo, Ray, you sticky, son. I put it. Let's see. 45. Oh, DJ 1K got the 45. So I don't know how you want to send me that. Matter of fact, yo, DJ, if you want to send it, if you want your bread right now, just add me in the chat with your buddy address, and I can directly send you an airdrop right now. You can also hit me up personal, prove that you're who you say you are, and then send me your address through a DM. Either or is cool. So you let me know, bro. If you're not, all right, and I'm gonna give a time limit to claim these airdrops. You got 10 minutes to claim an airdrop. All right. So 10 minutes. You gotta either add me in the chat right here where we at right now, or you can add me at Bartertown. You can do that too, or you can add me in with a personal message. You got 10 minutes to claim your airdrop, and you have to be a Bartertown Conglomerate Road Warrior in order to receive the airdrop. All right, guys, when you're coming in, hit the like button. Okay. So if you don't know who I am, shout out to the squad. This is the Bartertown Conglomerate, right? This YouTube channel was made to conquer the digital age, and cryptocurrency was the lane that we found. Right?
Pretty dope
and
channel.
Dominated, right? And dominated.
Remember at the time that Ray was starting this channel, I was actually considering doing something myself in a very similar vein. So I was just like, this is a good idea. Somebody should be doing this. And he just came with it
to be able to
dedication
build a
toward
brotherhood
it,
and a
dude.
sisterhood.
And I was
So
like,
now
I'm
we
already
can grow our
tackling
process together.
esports and
Cryptocurrency
shit,
is the
bro.
lane
Let
that
him
we
have
chose
that lane,
because
bro.
we had success,
He's
right? But
killing it.
essentially, Bartertown can be many different things, right? So we got the YouTube channels, right? So make sure that you guys are subscribed too. Not only Bartertown, right? Not only Bartertown, not only here, but we got all my stuff here. We got Bartertown DeGen University. So this DeGen University is going to be a great channel where we're going to have short clips, because you guys know I go 3 hours in a video. We're going to have short clips to the point.
There's a bunch of people that make these type of videos, though.
So I got to freaking get my
I think he does a really good job with these type of
short
videos.
clips, guys, of, you know, basic stuff, so that way, you know, you microwave DJs out there who don't got time, or the movies, you know what I'm saying? You guys could get that, you know.
That's really good shit.
It's not tripping.
Yeah?
Alright.
I'm about to just start doing like a market analysis shit like that. Maybe play some game for a second. Hit it. Hit it. Actually, I can't even hit it. I gotta shit, I might need to make some fucking coffee. God damn it. I have to make these NFTs. Fuck, I forgot. At least make sure that they're able to be claimed for tomorrow.
Join the team. And remember, the buddy address for the team is in the description. In every video description, the buddy address ID is there.
Alert, buy these altcoins right now.
Yet another Bitcoin crypto collaboration, and today we are going to go straight into the crypto market and talk about where are the opportunities. And I know that many people are talking about specific coins, and I'm going to ask Bitcoin Crypto about these coins. But first of all, I want to ask Bitcoin Crypto, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. Live from Las Vegas, here at the Venetian Hotel in the casino. Playing the World Series of Poker with the Rio. Today's my day 2, so you know, hopefully I made it to day 2. So we'll see how I do.
Go, Ben.
To win. There's like 7,000 or 8,000 people that enter, but doing pretty well right now. And I'm really excited. This is something that was always on my bucket list, playing the main event of the World Series of Poker. So excited to be out here doing that and still talking crypto.
That's dope. That's fun. How much? I was like, hoping you had to pay a whole bunch to get into a tournament like that. It's just like, you know, by doing good.
Basically, long and short of it is, I get a lot of comps here at the but we got our whole team out here, so I use a lot of my comps for my team's rooms and stuff like that. So I'm not that fancy. My wife was here over the weekend. She did 2 things for the first time ever in her life. She gambled at a table game. So we played Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and she also went to a club. My wife has never been to a club in her entire life, so her eyes were like that wide. She was like, what is going on out here? So we're not clubbers. So
that's cool. Okay, so crypto is booming, and and everyone is wondering where should they really put their attention right now. Could you give us your analysis kind of what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of really interesting things developing. We're seeing a lot of
Dude, Carl, dude's a dick for that statement, bro. He just sounded like such a dick. Hold up, man. Big boy tried to get like real with him, like, you know. Like, yo, my family's enjoying our time out here, you know, my wife did this, yada yada yada. I'm trying to connect with you as a human. And Carl's responses. So Bitcoin is booming and the people want to know how it's doing, so that was the dickest fucking thing you could fucking say. Like, you didn't say anything at all about what this man just told you.
Where I talked about 3 different types of altcoins people should be looking to invest in. Of course, not financial advice, yada yada yada. 3 different types of coins. Number 1 would be coins that have just absolutely crushed it and continue to crush it the entire bull run. You look at coins like Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, Avalanche, Terra Luna.
I'm like, I wonder if he's pissed because like BitBoy's calling in at this this weird angled squaring for his camera that's not fitting up the whole screen. And like, as a perfectionist and somebody who just wants to have a good show and stuff like that, you be like, bro, why can't you just fucking call in on the right? Damn, you have so many different devices and shit. Just plug the damn thing in and give me the right, you know.
Polygon. These are projects that have just consistently done well with very few moments of stagnation. Polygon has had some stagnant moments, but its rises have been absolutely monstrous. One of the other type of coins you should be looking at are coins that at different points in this bull run have performed extremely well, but have gone through longer periods of stagnation. That would be coins like...
I think that's a good opportunity for Costa as well. I'm good with Michael.
They're gonna say Solana. Hopefully not Shib. I'd be surprised if they said Phantom. I'm kind of curious what Gary said right here. Skull token review. Phantom DeGen play of the day.
Crypto top of Thomas G. Yeah, dog. Bringing heat. Mining sprees. And we're farming all around, including heat. Yeah, dog. Bringing heat. Mining sprees. And we're farming all around, including...
Yeah, dog. Thomas G here with once again another cryptocurrency
I
video.
get weird shit
Welcome to the
after
channel.
me.
Smash the like button, subscribe, drop a comment, and always remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a professional. Oh wait, I forgot. Post notifications. So now that we got all that out of the way, we're going to talk about the Phantom DeGen play of the day. This is something I got into last night. So DeGen play, because the audit is pending. All right, it's not official yet. So we're at Skeleton Finance again. We're on the Phantom Opera Network. It's the audit and reviewed by Solid Proof. Audit in progress. Okay, so you need to know that DeGen plays for me are something that's not audited. All right, and so it's high risk. And I'm going to talk about it because you, as a viewer, you're responsible enough to do your own research.
It's
already
at $6,000. $7,000.
Okay. And where I'm looking at my new chart tool system that they've got. So we're looking at
Dude, why is it so expensive?
Take a look at the prices currently right now. I
Sorry,
last night,
probably
it did, like,
blew
a
your fucking
crazy
eardrums.
dip, okay? So I bought last night like $3 or something like that. It might have been $4 actually, but look at the price it was at. All right, it was about $76. I think like at the peak $80, and it completely just crashed. Right? Look at now you have $3. I got it pretty cheap.
Oh, that's
And
dollars.
today it's 2x from where I bought it
That's
last night.
about
So the question is it a
thousands.
good time to buy? Well, I mean, if you're ever gonna buy the dip in crypto, this is the dip, right? I don't know why it's
Is
showing
it?
so much money in the dip so
Is
so
it
big,
because
but,
it hasn't gone
you know, we'll
below
wait. So
the
that
entry
happened. Now the
price?
dip happened. I'm 2x on that.
I don't know,
Those are the
Thomas.
tokenomics, though.
I
So,
think Thomas
Stellar
could
to
get
Finance,
screwed
if you guys are
here.
gonna do all your free research, don't forget to
I
join
think
my
Thomas should
group,
let us know if they
join
paid him or
Telegram.
not.
The Telegram group is just an announcement group right now, but they do have Discord. So if you want to join a chat for it, the Discord link's right there. And that's where you can chat. Just an announcement
I'm just saying.
on here. Boom. And we'll look at the total value locked. So I look at opportunities, and let's click the docs page too, so we can look at tokenomics. I look at the opportunities here, and the way I gauge them is how much total value locked, how much more room in market. There's all these different assets, but it is auto compound on the system.
Probably
There's
dope for
different,
Thomas. Yo, we're gonna get
different
this.
Skull I'm currently doing the Skull
Check us
auto
out.
compound right here. Shows I have about 2,500
Get in here.
value
We're gonna
deposited.
3x you.
And it's auto compounding.
You can get out in time, Thomas.
$511,500. So it's auto compounding my earnings. If you get out within the first 2 days of entering, there's a 1.1% withdrawal fee. So keep that in mind. And then you got all these other cool options: Skull, paired with Phantom.
I got it. Day 1. Where were you? Day 4.
ETH, Frax, FUSD, USDT, Link, MIM.
I'm just kidding, bro.
For you to utilize. And you know, like I said, do your own research. But let's take a look at the docs really quick here, so that we can view like.
That does happen sometimes.
You don't want to take a look at, like I said, the audit's not here yet, right? But
That part is not getting.
You know, what is the token? What's the contract? What will give you? So,
But like nothing against Thomas.
Skull Single Vault stakers will receive a share of the yield optimizer profits. That's what I'm doing. Voting rights. Users will be able to vote on proposals on improving the protocol. Yield farming. Voters are rewarded in the yield farming rewards. All right. So there's going to be how are we going to protect the value of Skull, meaning protect the price of the actual token. So looks like one they have listed off as revenue buyback. All the votes will buy Skull off the market and distribute it to the Skull Single Vault. That's what I'm in. All right. Buyback and burn. All the votes will buy Skull on the market and burn it to
You know what? I guess. Huh. I don't know.
Emissions reduction. Those people are really like this.
That's what it is.
Emissions will cut by 5%. This way, early protocol holders and participants will be rewarded as they will get more rewards for early investment in the protocol. So I don't know how to what, all right? This is when profit is burned.
Okay. Oh lord. Okay, we're gonna get to the back side of this. Is this video all about Skull?
So there's many other holders of the token, but it's not going to show in the holders link here when on Phantom Scan when those tokens are staked only if they're liquid. Why are these people holding liquid? So there's many other holders, 167, almost double that. But it's not liquid, it's staking. So anything that's not staked, meaning it's not liquid, won't show up on this list. So there's many other holders of the token, but it's not going to show in the holders link here when on Phantom Scan when those tokens are staked only the overall flow.
Yeah. So why is he promoting this one so heavy? Just because he's like early to it? When there's like 84 fucking follow, like we get it. I know what the liquidity and like of a token is when people actually have it in their wallet versus when they have it staked. Yeah. Either way, it's nice to have people that just kind of have it liquid and shit like that to trade back and forth between. You just have more people interested in that token in different ways. That's nothing bad about that. It's like how you have so many people that have a bunch of liquid United States dollars just chilling around, right? Nothing bad about that. You got a bunch of people with your fucking currency. Metaverse token, buy or sell. Extended rally incoming Metaverse tokens weekly. Okay, so this is one of the tokens. Oh shit, and there's Polydoge. I need to not do Crystal Mischief. Let's see what he got to say. Because yeah, let me look at the Polydoge chart. I sold my Polydoge because of Hex, but now I'm like, I forgot how much Polydoge I kept.
Looking into them. And I thought I'd have a look at those tokens that are Metaverse tokens. And I see how they've done in the past week. Now that the hype of the Facebook Meta videos kind of calmed down, I will actually probably see a reflection of that in the price of the tokens. And I'm going to add a couple more to that list.
Come on!
This week, other ones I've got my eye on that I actually do want to purchase, but I'm looking for a nice entry on. So beginning just in where we left off in the last video, going into CoinGecko, and we'll go into the same ones we were looking at last time. We were in the Metaverse in the gaming section. So if we go into Metaverse, the first one I want to talk about would be Polka City. So let's find that near the bottom. That right here. Okay, we're on the 14-day. We'll have a look at what happened to the chart here. So Polka City did have a lovely pop just before I made that video, getting all to all-time highs actually of $2.55. I held onto my bag, and since my purchase, it has kind of gone almost back down to where it was initially.
Claim some Hex.
And it's fallen 39 point, almost 40% from that all-time high. In my opinion, this is to be expected because once people kind of get out of the hype, they buy the tokens, they don't really believe in the projects, and then they'll sell the tokens for profit, and that's exactly what happened here. So probably Polka City, I would say, is a great choice for grabbing another little bit. So I'll probably put in another $500 into Polka City today and build up my bag of that. Just building DCA in now to these projects. It is a long haul, okay? Polka City is nowhere near ready to launch, I do not believe. So it's definitely
at least something in the Polydoge. I really hope I left something in the Polydoge. I left nothing in the Polydoge.
This game is going to be massively adopted. It is GTA on the blockchain.
Bam!
So I just want to find out what it bought.
I need
Anyway,
something in the Polydoge.
so
I have to
500
leave something in the
before,
Polydoge.
it's currently sitting
I
at
have
this
to.
Pancake swap starts churning, we'll find out the price.
That would
So
hurt.
within that week time,
I
they did
didn't.
announce the sale of their land NFTs on Bulk City. You'll be able to
I
use
just think it can go up way quicker than Matic
existing
can.
NFTs. So you can look in here to find out more details on their land sale. For me, I'm not interested in buying any land, crypto land. I'm interested in buying a token and selling the token for profit. Is my game, especially in this one. And the land sale sold out. Look at that, they sold out in one day. So that's really bullish for Bulk City. That's why, even though the chart hasn't reflected the interest from buy, it's a good idea for me, I think, to start DCAing. So yeah, the bag that I did buy, I think the peak was about 1,500, about 1,400 that it reached for this. So I'm just gonna, so there is a huge amount of smart early gamers here getting in and getting land on this. That's why it's a good idea for me, I think, to start DCAing. So yeah, the bag that I did buy, I think the peak was about 1,500, about 1,400 that it reached. No rush, like dollars into this. I have a link for Gate Plus1, we'll have, or that I have bought.
I don't know.
And some people told me it's hard to put this NFT gaming and esports focused, okay, with a bunch of other amazing things. Their events are going to be absolute fire this year. It's going to really put Polydoge as, I think, the #3 meme coin in the entirety of crypto space. Yeah, you'll probably have Doge at the top, maybe, or then Shiba, and I think Polydoge. This is where I'm putting my money, right?
It's set
So
with
Polydoge,
esports work too.
We'll immediately we go to the 2 week on that, and we'll see what happened with Polydoge. Okay, Polydoge pumped about 300% last week. If whoever did go in on my call to have a look at Polydoge, you can start researching it for what it is going to be able to achieve in the next 6 months. Then you've got yourself a nice little gain on that. The same idea there as Polka City, that once people did purchase it, some people started to dump, but the community continued to buy more and more of this. Look at that chart. So that's from the start of November. That is a 10-day chart there. 10-day chart, and it has absolutely exploded. Yeah, that was a 4x for anyone who went in when I made the video and had a look at Polydoge. If you did miss it, I would expect now to see a little bit of consolidation down past this point, because nothing can pump 400% and then continue to go up. Nothing can. Not even Polydoge can do that, but Polydoge might do it. But amazing success to get to our new all-time high for Polydoge. A huge amount of announcements. They listed on 2 exchanges. They listed on Gate.io. They also listed on NXC. NEXC. They also listed on NXC this week. So that's the 2 that they listed on. In terms of what's coming up for Polydoge, loads of stuff happening for Phase 2. Continuing Polydoge into the future. In the coming months, we're going to be releasing our most impressive projects to date. Keep an eye and ear out for more news regarding our Polydoge Pets 3D NFTs being developed with Network. Think Crypto Kitties, but way better. Okay, play to earn. Polydoge is no stranger when it comes to gaming. You can play Polydoge Quake if you wanted to, and they're going to be listing a couple more games in the next coming months, which will all be play to earn. And they do have Loot Fest, which is launching today, which will feature an in-person event in Las Vegas as well as online gamer chat event before you can sign up here. So actually, I'm going to sign up to Loot Fest. You can do this on Polydoge.com. Generally, when you register to Polydoge events, you get rewarded in NFTs. I'm not saying you will get rewarded this time, but generally they like to reward anyone in the community who's being active and working hard to get the Polydoge name out there. So there I have just registered there. I will go to my email. My email link is in the description. My Twitter is in the description if you ever want to get in touch with me about anything. I'll just log into GamerChat there. And it's this one here on starting Thursday, November 11th, 12 p.m. till Friday, December 10th, 12 p.m. So this is the event here. So now I'm signed up, and once it does launch, then I will be getting into GamerChat. I will be meeting and greeting with other fans of Polydoge, and we'll be talking about it. And that's, this is the great idea about Polydoge. This is why I love it. They're doing so much. They're always active. That's why they will be a top 3 meme coin, definitely. So I'm going to be waiting for this chart. Let's get back to that chart. For the chart to have a little bit of a correction, which I'm sure it will, and I will probably grab DCA back into a little bit more Polydoge. Even though my bag now has gone absolutely ballistic, I'm up to a huge bag of Polydoge, and I'm not selling a single one until we get to what we want, and we're going to get it. That's right. So Polydoge, a huge success this week. Whoever got in, congratulations. Maybe consider taking some profit, or if you're like me, don't sell a single Polydoge. And if you haven't bought any, consider buying some. If any good entry, grab some. Okay, coming back into Metaverse tokens. We do have the one that I did mention that's the partnered up with Polydoge. I still didn't get around to buying this one. I couldn't remember my KuCoin password, because this is to buy Network. Network, but it was listed on Gate.io. Eating for the horses going. If you are into NFTs, and you want to speculate on the price of NFTs, then you could come in here and pick up some horses. Gen 0 seems like the only ones that they haven't. Let's look at the end of the line. What do they have? Yeah, they're all Gen 0 seems in the market. A bunch of horses with different, attributes. Very well thought out game. Its market cap is 160 million, so it's not a small cap. Okay, so you're not going to get. You might not be able to see like life-changing games on this token, but I think it is one that will be very popular. Okay, 470 rank in all cryptocurrencies. So you might very well put it there, and you want to speculate on the price. All Gen 0 seems in the market. A bunch of horses with different, attributes. Very well thought out game. Its market cap is 160 million, so it's not a small cap. Okay,
how much it costs.
So you're not going to get. You might not be able to see like life-changing games on this token, but I think it is one that will be very popular. Okay, 470 rank in all cryptocurrencies, so it's already a bit of a giant. Okay, that is D-Race token. There's the horse. Look at that horsey. Cool graphics, like really well done. You can see like already has a lot of the work already done on this, so all we have to do is get the racing game out, and then I think it is off to the races with the token price as well. I won't be buying any more D-Race today because I don't see a decent entry for this compared to what I did buy it at. I bought under $3 and sitting this about $4. So I'm going to hold on to this moment and hope and pray for some kind of correction where I can DCA into this too. Maybe Bitcoin's going to take a huge dump, and then I'll be able to get some more cheap tokens. Yeah, that's what stables are for though. Yeah, you should always be trading out your yield farms and then your profits, trade it into stables and wait for Bitcoin to dump. Once Bitcoin dumps, you can be able to get any of these. It will be just shopping day for all of the tokens that you think are going to be really popular in the future. That's my strategy for this bull run. At the moment, you can get QuickSwap rewards by LP staking D-Race on QuickSwap. Stake your LP D-Race USDC tokens on QuickSwap to earn a variety of rewards. D-Race NFT horses, D-Race Jockey Club, avatars, and D-Quit rewards. Quite interesting, actually. So you can get rewards by LP staking on QuickSwap over on Matic with this. This will be the general. This is not financial advice yet. I'm just telling you what I'm looking at in the metaverse and the gaming side of crypto. What I'm buying, you do not have to follow me into any of these choices. You need to do your own research on everything. Always find a nice position to purchase these tokens in. Don't get taken away by FOMO. Yeah, the fear of missing out. There's always a better time to buy a crypto coin. You can always wait for it down. Okay. I take a lot of risk in crypto, so that sometimes you don't have to. You can watch and see and learn first before you aim into anything blindly. If you're already an experienced crypto investor, or you're already an experienced DeGen, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Please smash up the like so you know that you can tell other people that I'm not just blindly trying to lead people into getting wrecked, because we don't want to get wrecked. Everybody must get rich. That's the idea here. Okay, getting into the games, we do have one that pumped this week that I only briefly mentioned last week. That would be Star Atlas. Star Atlas has gone up this week. look at the 7-day chart on Star Atlas, it has had a very good week. You look at 14, yeah, it's had a very good 2 weeks too. So Star Atlas is continuing to rise up in value after launching and having a massive holy dump. This was your time to purchase Star Atlas, by the way. If you didn't, then that was your time. So I have my Star Atlas over on Radium. I don't even play the game. I've never even looked at the website. I just purchased this and immediately I put it into Radium, into the Fusion farm. It's on the Solana blockchain. Well, Star Atlas. You come to my stake only. We'll find it here. I put it in here because I can earn Star Atlas token and Radium at the same time by providing liquidity with Atlas and Ray. So that's what I do. I don't have much. As you can see, I have 294, and my plan $294 of this. I'm not a big holder of Star Atlas, but it is going up in value, which is great. And all I do is I continually harvest this. I take the Radium that I harvest from this Solana and Radium pool. I harvest this, yeah, and I combine them together. And I put them back in the pool, just passively earning me more of a token on game that I'm pretty bullish on. You know, I haven't even looked, like, let's have a look. Wow, amazing, look at the website. So cool. I don't even play this game, man. But I do have the token. I don't plan on playing the game. I plan on holding the token until the value of the game continues to rise. More people start playing it, then I will sell out the token to make some profit. That is my plan for Star Atlas. That's it. You know, shoot me. I just want the money. So that's me, got my Radium, got my Star Atlas token. So then I just pair that up. Yeah, grab that there, put that there, supply that liquidity, and farm more Star Atlas token. That's all I need to do. That's my game. Digging in here. Well, once this pool ends, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might be forced to
I'm like looking at this Tron farm
bullshit. But at the moment, I'm happy
bullshit.
just to farm it, speculate on the price. I'm always bullish on Radium. It's a great platform. Solana still has not had its day in the sun. I don't think it's not massively adopted. It's quite hard to
you
get.
can look at it with
Eventually,
me.
you know, Solana soon will be more compatible with other chains. And once that does happen, I expect a huge flood of people coming into Solana. Because of the huge flood of people coming into Solana, I'm sure a huge flood of people will come in to play a game which is as cool as Star Atlas supposedly is. Yeah, this is the game here. Looks great. Nice graphics. Very good. I do play this actually, and after my video last week, I did realize that I hadn't even mentioned Gravis Finance because I love this platform.
It's pretty
been really
good.
financially beneficial for me. And it's been a lot of fun so far. And it is a metaverse gaming platform that I just completely forgot about. Gravis is on the Binance Smart Chain. It's also on Polygon Matic. The token, they have 2 tokens. The first is the reward token, GRVX token. This one here, which I am farming in the yield farm to get. For example, here I do have $6,000 locked up. Well, not locked up, staked inside their farming. There's 0 deposit fee and 0 withdrawal fee on this farm. And I get a nice 39% on my stablecoins paid out in GRVX token. Now, the GRVX token launched was about 0.003, I remember. Maybe
It'll cost you
so for reward tokens, we're doing really well. So
bro,
we're
why would I
getting a
do
month of
that
money.
right
And
now?
slowly now, Gravis will be bringing out some new announcements, which will be coming out in the next coming days. I do have a dedicated video plan for Gravis this week, and another dedicated video next week plan for Gravis, with 2 different kind of bullish announcements that we're going to be making very soon. Really excited for that. So you do have the farming here. You also have the asteroid mining game. You see what I have. For certain things such as I do have a captain NFT, which can mine for me this GRVX token, which can get launched. I've mined so far 250. You don't have any ships because every time you send a ship out on a mission, you come back with some GRVX token, and then you have to spend.
They're gonna have their own fucking token and farming.
Picked up 18 metals so far.
Christ.
I haven't gone out yet because I'm actually at the moment I am getting resources. I'm staking my GRVX to collect fuel because apparently you're going to need fuel in the future for something. So I'm just getting that fuel. Don't ask me any questions. I'm too busy to ask questions. Second day reward can get 100 GRVX, but I need to get a ship for that. If you want a ship, you can come into the NFT market and buy one. Should I buy a ship? Yeah, let's buy a ship. So the market's pretty cool. We'll go from low to high. Find a nice cheap ship. We'll just purchase it. Okay, so here we have Qback. So I will purchase Qback for BUSD. Okay, buy that NFT. You can always check in their doc section to see just how much GRVX the ship can harvest on its journey into space. You don't want to be paying more dollars than the dollar value of the GRVX that you're going to be able to catch in space. That would just be the definition of insanity. So I go back to my hangar. Okay, so here's my Qback here. So then I would take the Qback, add that here. Then I would proceed to launch. For some reason I can't attach my captain to that, I'm not sure why. But yeah, then I just proceed to launch that ship. Okay, coming back in 12 hours, well the ship doesn't come back. It's destroyed. So terrible. And I can also receive some metal and I'll get 5,000 back from the GRVX for that. So I'll launch the spaceship. Launch that in there. Then it should just be off on his way. Come back in half a day and then collect my GRVX.
Bro,
That's one thing I prefer the farming, the
146 on that
APRs are pretty nice.
shit
Actually,
right
63%, 71% for Cape and Airbnb. It's
Ain't
a very, very
been
nice
a
APR for that.
long
In stable moment, I might move some more liquidity into this stuff. And you can also single stake your GRVX for a pretty good 50% APR. And by staking a certain amount of GRVX, you do get you are eligible to be rewarded in other NFTs, which will be used for the game in the future. So this is very much in the beginning stages. Only 1 token is launched. It's not yet on CoinGecko, and the second token will be out very soon too. That's on the Binance Smart Chain and Matic, by the way. Here's another project on the Binance Smart Chain that I made a video on last week. This is Neon Earth. This is a highly speculative play. Okay, you need to manage your own risk here for sure if you want to get involved in this one, and you know only take your own responsibility for it because it is brand new. The token is in the pre-sale right now, so that's why I was interested to get into it. Because if we do come to all these tokens in the game, they're already launched. People have already made huge profits on these, and they're able to dump from above on anyone who does purchase these tokens now because they have figured out some things you can play to earn on it. Probably the most enthralling part of our game concepts is the option for players to earn money playing a game. The global market is balanced by real supply and demand of all blockchain games. In that, depending on if it's a good project or not. So yeah, I can send my hero on a quest, start quest. He has a chance to get these tiers, which is why I think the price started dumping because you can now get rewarded in tiers as opposed to buying them. So I think hopefully it will start to even out then. It hasn't done what I expected it to. So in the week actually this was not a good call for me because it has dumped quite horribly all the way down to about $4 now from around $0.5. So this was bad boy. This one hasn't done very well at all. The cool thing that happened in DeFi Kingdom is they have kind of expanded their metaverse a little bit by if you go into the map section now, you have this fountain, that one there, you can click on the fountain. And if you have a hero, you can send your hero now on quests. So I can select, I only purchased 1 hero. Also the price of heroes in DeFi Kingdoms have completely bottomed out. I spent about 4 times as much as I should have on this hero because now the prices have started to really fall down. I don't know if they'll recover back up. I'm thinking they might be able to because it's a pretty cool game. I'm enjoying it. I think it's a winner. So I'm continuing to DCA into DeFi Kingdoms and I'm not selling any of the jewel that I'm harvesting in the yield farm here. So yeah, I can send my hero on a quest, start quest. He has a chance to get these tiers, which is why I think the price started dumping because you can now get rewarded in tiers as opposed to buying them. So I think hopefully it will start to even out and go back up. I haven't sold any tiers. I don't have 2 heroes, so I can't send them to the Guardian to have kinky time and make me a baby hero and all that stuff. So what you do is you go on the quest, you will get kind of like level up on your NFT hero, and you have the chance of also being rewarded in some tiers token. So people are just, they've bought dickload of heroes, and they're just turning us every day this magic wishing well, and that's why I think the present DK tiers is falling. I didn't get any tiers. I got 5 XP though, which is very nice, so I would then take that XP. So I'm guessing like all these other places, here's a fort, here's a little tower here, here's a bridge. I'm guessing maybe later in the future all of these locations on the map might actually be places you can click on and do stuff with. That'd be cool. Yeah, that is my end for today's video. Just end with the worst one. Why not? Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. That's why I'm saying you need to research these and make sure that you're doing the right thing. You could have bought Radio Caca. Whoever bought that one is up 83% on the week. I don't even know what Radio Caca is. It is the native token for Universal Metaverse Radio Caca's also exclusive manager of May Must Mystery Box. Who knows? You know, I missed the pump. Respect the pump. I'm not going in while it's pumped. Definitely not. Hello, this is a new DLC play to earn game. Okay. Whoa. Looks rubbish. And on that note, don't get wrecked.
Oh. No. Oh. Let's see what this guy says. Probably chain link.
Now is the perfect time to buy Axes, for there is a huge update right around the corner, and we all know what happens when huge updates happen, guys. So today I'm going to talk about the economic updates of this update and what this update is. Not only am I going to tell you the precise types of Axes you should be investing into, but I have a huge teaser here for you all to see as well. Sayori just tweeted this a couple of days ago, and he said, rumor around the office is that Season 19 is right around the corner. And he says maybe it's time for skill and morale to become a bit more significant. And what this sounds like to me is they're adding a little bit of a buff to skill and morale with coming Season 19. So with this newfound information, I think I have some really excellent news to share with all of you. Here's what we know about Season 19 so far. It's very, very likely that Terminators will be nerfed. It's very, very likely that skill and morale will be buffed. So we have a couple of ideas in terms of what Axes might be the best to invest in that could potentially gain a lot of value coming in the new season. And we're going to start with a very, very classic Axe that everyone should know about, which is a double Nutcracker Rip. Now, the reason why I think these are going to become very, very popular come the new season is, well, they have the highest morale in the game, and morale is going to get something else added to it very, very likely, which means that there's a very high chance that pure beasts such as this one will become very strong in the meta once more. And we all know this is a very consistently strong beast. And another thing that I like about this beast is there's also a very high chance that it'll be very, very good come a Battle V2 because it has 2 cards with Nutcracker in it. So no matter what, those 2 cards will always synergize, and right now they are incredibly cheap. So I highly recommend that you guys go ahead and pick some of these up, for I think this will be a very strong all-around bet coming in the new season when they do make changes to morale to make it stronger. Now, what we also know is there's a very high chance that skill will also be buffed, and mech Axes have a very, very high skill stat. So there's a very high chance that mech Axes will have a new kind of use within the meta. So instead of getting the double Nutcracker Rimp beast, you can actually get that in mech form as well. And there's a very high chance that will also be very, very strong. So also keep that in mind. Season 19 will most likely come out any day now. And there's going to be some other things that will affect the prices of SLP when this comes too. We can see that the volume numbers have stayed very, very steady at the 30 million a day mark, guys, which is really, really good to see, because when Season 19 comes out and there's buffs and nerfs and all that, there'll be a very, very high total volume day over day. So everyone who is currently buying Axes now will probably be buying more, and there'll be new players coming into the economy as well. Because there's a lot of uncertainty right now too. A lot of people don't want to buy Axes because they're uncertain of whether or not they'll be nerfed. So with Season 19 coming very soon, Axe volume will go up, which means SLP will go up as well. And as we can see right here, after the teaser tweets, SLP has already jumped quite a bit. We're up about 8% today. I imagine when Season 19 comes out, we'll see it climb once again from anywhere to 10 to 20%. I might be way off on this, but because it could very well be a lot more depending on the nerfs and buffs that they do implement, but there will be a big climb, meaning that all the Axes will also climb in value, and that gives everyone an opportunity to flip Axes and also sell off their SLP when SLP spikes right after the update. So after the update does come up, keep a very close eye on SLP for the first hour. My recommendation would be to sell it an hour to an hour and a half after the update, because that's when the peak normally is, so you guys can make the maximum amount of gains. One more quick note for everyone watching: if you are looking for a scholarship program, please make sure to join my Discord community. Top pinned comment. We currently have some invite competitions going on where you can actually win a scholarship. So if that's something you want to do, make sure you join in. But with that being said, I'm going to end today's video. So make sure to drop a like and a subscribe on.
Oh.
Hello guys and welcome to the moon. My name is Carl and I'm going to bring you this cryptocurrency video. And right now we can see how the Bitcoin price is still going in a huge uptrend. We are still very close to the target we have right there, and the target we have all the way right there. And what are these targets? Well, I said it yesterday, but let me just remind you that 69k is the target out of this ascending triangle that we have right here. And we also have this target up here, which is $70,000, and we also have this target up here at $70,000. Essentially, we have not exactly met the targets yet, but we're getting closer and closer and closer. And I'm still in all of my Bitcoin long positions. Let me now show you all of my millions of dollars of the long positions that I have open right now. Let me start off with Bybit, where I have $1.5 million Bitcoin long position and a $1.7 million Ethereum long position. And if you scroll down below this video, then you will see here that Bybit literally just now launched a $4.1 thousand sign up and deposit bonus for everyone who clicks and deposits through my link here. So if you use my Bybit link, you can get up to $4.1 thousand. And look at this, right now you can get 7.5k in total if you use my download here. Overall Prime XPT, you can get 1.8k by using my promo code right here, the Moon50. This is the promo code, and this is only for experienced traders. And speaking of Prime XBT, here are all of my long positions. You can see that all of them are in massive profits, except from this Ethereum position right now. But all of the rest are currently in profits. And overall, Phoenix will have a $2 million Bitcoin position and a $400,000 Ethereum long position. So basically, if you want to open up any of these long positions right now, you have the links down below. And also, don't forget to sign up to Casta.io. Join the waitlist, because if you join the waitlist, then you will definitely be in line for something special. But only if you are in the waitlist. So put your email in there. The link is down below. And yesterday, many people started to ask me, Carl, can I buy your CryptoPunk? And the answer is right now, no. I'm not selling my CryptoPunk. Even if you offer me $1.5 million, I am not selling it. It's my CryptoPunk. Even if you offer me $2 million, I am keeping this one. So right now, I am just holding it. Maybe I'll sell it for $5 million. 5 million could be the price, but I don't think it's worth 5 million yet. But it will be probably worth 5 million in the future. So that is something I'm waiting for. But thank you so much guys for the big support. Everyone thinks it's so funny that I bought this CryptoPunk. I made this big $1 million mistake. This CryptoPunk has been going after the viral, and it's just very funny. But yeah, I'll leave a link down below as always to my CryptoPunk if you want to check it out. I also want to give a big shout out to everyone who is subscribing to my The Moon Alerts channel. We're very close to 70,000 subscribers. So this is the biggest alerts channel in crypto. Please leave a subscription down below. Just click the link. I have a link down below. But only follow the verified The Moon Alerts channel, please. And you also have the Moon group with 76,000 members currently. Let me take a quick look at Ethereum. We can see that Ethereum is still in a uptrend here. I'm still in all of my Ethereum long positions, high lows, high highs. I'm still bullish on Ethereum. Nothing has really happened since yesterday, so yeah, still bullish on Ethereum. And taking a look at Cardano. Remember when I told you that Cardano is potentially for a correction when we broke this support here? Remember? Well, ever since that point, we have seen a substantial correction, exactly as I predicted back then. And I also predicted this breakout. Remember? I told you right here when we broke out. I told you that Cardano is in for a massive run to the upside. So this is why you should subscribe to my channel, because sometimes I give you these nice trade updates. Whether it's Bitcoin or altcoins, I will give you them. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. Taking a look at XRP. We can see that XRP might be forming a huge inverse head and shoulders here. That could be a rocket ship potentially, but generally I prefer to find inverse head and shoulders at the bottom of a trend, not in a trend like this. That's just my personal preference. I like to see head and shoulders patterns as reversal patterns rather than continuation patterns. So if we see a pump, maybe it's just going to be a small one. It doesn't necessarily mean a massive pump like this. So that's just XRP real quick. Well, we could also take a look at the target, even though I don't think the target should necessarily be met, because I prefer to see it as a reversal pattern. This is a continuation pattern, but $2.3 approximately for XRP could be a potential trade. I would consider taking this trade from Bybit with leverage. I don't want to necessarily buy XRP, but I can take a leveraged long position on Bybit, maybe like a 500k position or something like that. And if you want to do that, you can sign for Bybit below. But yeah, that's that. And I want to take a quick look at the S&P. Why? Well, the S&P is going up. We're seeing all-time highs for the S&P, and look at this guy. This is just looking absolutely exponential. I don't know where this is going to end, but it's going to end badly, guys. And if we do see a huge correction in the S&P, then I also do expect some kind of correction in the whole global economy, which could also bring down crypto in the immediate short term. And I would like to ask you right now, do you want to hear me talk more about macroeconomics? I talked a lot about that back in the days, in the beginning of my YouTube channel. It hasn't been a lot in the last few 1 year or so, a few months here, but let me know down below, do you want me to talk more about macroeconomics? I would love to do that. I love macroeconomics. That's how I started my channel in the first place, to be honest. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to join the waitlist for Casta. And also, if you want to go and watch my Bybit or Phoenix tutorial, make sure to click right there, right now, and I will see you guys over there. Bye.
So when I think about this, if we go pull up the chart for a second here, and we look at what is this, like October, November of last year, it just went parabolic, right? Literally from October to November up until March, we went from about $15,000 all the way to $64,000. A lot of the same market dynamics seem to be at play. So when I think about this, if we go pull up the chart for a second here, and we look at what is this, like October, November of last year, it just went parabolic, right? Literally from October to November up until March.
Okay, Ethereum target $6,000 for Bitcoin improvement. This is Bitcoin improvement. Bitcoin improvement. Bitcoin improvement. Bitcoin improvement. Kagi over here, he getting bullish on that Ron token. Tell your family to prepare advocate content, Kiyosaki, that it is crucial that you see this. I feel like that's like an older video that they're using now. Bro, they looking old as fuck.
Guys, today is a big video because I'm seeing right now for Bitcoin a pattern I've seen before recently, and this usually leads into big pumps in the Bitcoin markets. So guys, we're going to talk about this. We're also talking about Ethereum. We're finally talking about Cardano as well.
It's probably gonna be like the last one.
So if you want to know how to make a lot of money,
wrap it up.
stick around for this video, guys. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Cristiano, bringing you cryptocurrency videos every day, teaching you how to make money in this market. If
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Let's
do a little bit of research before I went to sleep. At least try to understand markets better. Talk about them to people from what I understand.
If you just look at this, you know, you can say that this is definitely
Try to break it down in a new way.
Something like that. Okay, some people would say a lower time frame, perhaps. But okay, you can draw it from here as well. So what you can see is you have a big hole, you have consolidation. Usually this leads into another breakout. If we look at the Bitcoin price recently, okay,
So we go down here in the 4-hourly time frame, and what can we see? Well, we can see right here, we can see something similar. Okay, we have a consolidation after a massive explosive wave up.
I get it.
Another kind of bull flag, and we did see another breakout to the upside after that. What else? Well, look at this. Same thing here.
I can't believe we made like
Another big push upwards. So this is something
how much
that
money
we
was
see,
that?
you know, and also
$50 tonight
like this,
during that
upside,
game.
and then, yeah,
The fuck?
usually this is what happens. We have a pump, we have consolidation, and if the consolidation is, you know, tilting downwards, that's just the textbook bull flag, and then we usually have another big push upwards. So yeah, of course, after a massive explosive push, where we're always going to have a bit of a breather here, and so far so good still. I do believe that we are still on track to break every single line here and get up to the $83,000 level at least. And then of course, you know that things are going to start to heat up during the 25th of November. If you don't know why, make sure to watch my previous videos. But this is where things are going to get absolutely
You gotta
crazy.
check
So,
those NFTs in the morning.
Ethereum is still in the vicinity of this all-time high. Same thing here.
Give away some drip.
So everything's still well. Now for Cardano,
Give away some drip.
After going sideways for an eternity, we finally did see a big push in Cardano. But there's a reason why this line here is blue. So this line is blue because it's a very important level. This is a trend shifting blue line, okay? Meaning that this basically separates the bullish trend from consolidation. So if we break through this blue line, well, then you can expect massive upside for Cardano. But you can see it's not that easy. We got rejected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to count this as well. 6 times we got rejected in this vicinity here. Now we are a bit lower. Let's see if we can make a new try and hopefully break through this for every Cardano holder. But this is the level you need to watch. This was a level you were already aware of. So $2.32. Watch that. So a lot of people are asking, how do you make the most money on altcoins? And well, there's 2 things you can go about this. So you can get into small new altcoins, which has a very low market cap, and you can hope that they are going to do well. Because if they do well, you're going to have more growth than getting into any coin in the top 10 or top 20 or whatever. Because those have already had those massive gains. It doesn't mean that they cannot have even more. It just means that the upside is limited. It's just the way things work. Given current market conditions, Ethereum is not going to 5, 10x while Bitcoin goes sideways and then entire crypto market goes sideways. Of course, if the entire crypto market goes up, then of course it can 10x. But that would probably then mean that the smaller altcoins would do like 100 or 1000x at the very least. So the thing is, you need to get into smaller altcoins in order to have those explosive gains. And by smaller, I don't mean like price-wise, like it's at $1 or 10 cents or whatever. It doesn't work like that. You have to look at the market cap. So you have to get into altcoins with a small market cap. They're also much more risky, so you have to be careful. Well, one coin I was talking about 2 days ago, I actually talked about this a couple of days before this as well, was Torum. And when I talked about this coin, Torum was about 40 cents. And when I posted this video, I think the coin was at 60 cents. And right now you can see that it is at $1. So in just a couple of days, it has gone up by 100%. That's cool. Congratulations to everyone who got into Torum. But here's the thing, if you look at the market cap, it's still very slow. So as you can see here, this still has a lot of room left to grow. Whereas if you look at another coin, like, I don't know, let's see if this can load here. So yeah, if you, for instance, look at something like Solana, which a lot of people are, you know, bullish on. I'm also very bullish on Solana. But I understand the upside is limited, because if this were to 10x, it would mean that it would be approaching the market cap of Bitcoin and be above Ethereum. So how likely is that? It could happen, but it's going to take a lot of energy for Solana to actually get above all of these coins and yeah, be at $730 billion in market cap. Not impossible, and as I said, if the entire crypto market continues to grow, then it's actually looking likely. But for the market cap in general in crypto to be at the same level it is right now, let's say Bitcoin is still at 66, Ethereum is at $5,000 or whatever, for Solana to get into the 10x kind of range, well, then it has to flip all of these coins and get just below Bitcoin. Whereas with smaller coins, it can happen, and it is actually happening every other day that all coins 10x us, which leads me into CDFI, where you're able to access these smaller coins. But before we talk about that, I want you to join the Wii U Discord channel. It's linked down below because they are making moves here. They have a partnership with the UN, so this is charity, and it's obviously a massive, massive partnership here. So how does this work? Well, the Wii U pieces has dropped. So what is the Wii U pieces? Well, you still have 1 day left to join here if you're interested. All of the resources are going to be down below. But what is this all about? Well, this artist, Kalian, has provided 3 pieces. So these 3 pieces have been split up into a bazillion, well, 6,075 individual pieces, where refugees have going to the refugees. And as they say on Twitter, view pieces is in the description, guys. And make sure to join the Discord. So when it comes, Knowledger is a part of the new battle study beam, but this is an NFT token teleport. So they want to bridge NFTs across all of here. So that is how the bridge works. As generally during the listing, it's very a lot of bring products that does well price wise. So yeah, that's just a tip.
All right, folks. I'm like, that's all the interesting that I could find there. Okay, so I got back on profit in crypto. I don't feel like I know who the fuck that is. 7 dips to profit from huge inflation hits this minority. What does it say? Minority mindset. Winter cab view from 2 of the most scenic railways. Interesting. Rail cowgirl. What the fuck? 325 people viewing. Bro. Dude. Dude. The average American worker is being priced out of society. I mean, that's a fact. Like, seriously though. Like, that's been known. Come on, man. When you gotta work multiple jobs and you're like, dude, why do I have to work multiple of these fucking jobs and like try this hard? Like, what the fuck? I can't be good at one thing and like work that job. I thought that's what people did. Like, no, you need multiple. Yeah, weekends too. You want more, right? Nights. It's like, whoa, fam. Dude. Seriously. Okay. Alright, but that's it, y'all. I will see you in the next one tomorrow. I'm gonna do some gaming tomorrow. Yeah, we gotta play Smash. Gotta promote tomorrow's tournament. We got a Smash Bros tournament tomorrow, and I'll probably do like a giveaway of these NFTs or promote the other rare NFTs and shit like that or something. So